You know, it's funny how word spreads around these parts. I mean, I've been in the territory for very long and already I've got another case. One of the true characters of this part of the world, plus one of the true pioneers, happens to run the only dairy farm in the top end. He's got an animal that needs some help. Only thing is, she's not a cow.
Chris is spending a second week in Darwin and is responding to a call for help from buffalo farmer Jeff.
You good lad?
He's in desperate need of help for his beloved swamp buffalo, Penny.
G'day.
How are you?
I'm all right for an old bloke.
Hey, nice to meet you. I'm Chris.
Oh, my word.
How you going? Now,
Come inside and meet my friend.
if this is Penny,
No, that's
the
no,
most
mate, no.
masculine-looking Penny I've ever seen in my life.
No, she's waiting to see you, actually. She's down the back there.
Yep.
And we can go down and get her and bring her up.
All right, let's go and have a look at her and we'll see what we can do for you.
You bet.
Jeff's called me out here to have a look at one of his buffalo. She's got horns that are now growing back into her head. That is obviously a very dangerous situation.
There she is, looking straight at you.
Oh, wow. She's obviously got a problem there.
It almost looks as if she's got a set of earphones on.
Yeah. So, how long's that been a problem for her now?
Oh, the last year.
Yeah.
See, when she was a calf, she would have been about like that.
Yeah.
And someone endeavoured to stop her horns from growing.
And that's just changed the direction of the growth of those horns?
Oh, that's what I think.
Yeah. Yeah, poor thing. Penny was apparently an orphan, and when she was young, someone tried to burn her horns off with acid. When that happened, it's changed the direction of growth of the horns. So instead of them going out and up, they're now going down. And once those horns do actually start to press in on the skull, that'd be the end of her. She just couldn't survive with that sort of pain.
The only solution is to trim both of Penny's horns.
So if we can get her up into the yard here,
Oh, she'll go up.
that's obviously going to help.
Chris and Jeff now have the difficult task of luring Penny into a crush.
The idea today is to get in there, sedate her, make her nice and relaxed, and then using a wire, cut through those horns and shorten them. But this is not going to be easy.
This is the basking spot, so it should be warm. That's perfect. Yep, that's good.
General Manager Tim Faulkner is preparing for an exciting first at the Australian Reptile Park.
Today is a pretty special day. We've got some VIPs coming. Not only VIPs, but they are nature's true giants and they're deadly. And for me, it's more than special because I've never, ever had my hands on one.
Jules is here.
Go ahead, Jules.
Hey, I'm back and brought a couple of special guests with me. I'm just going into the car park now.
Okay, I'm coming right now. I'll see you there.
Roger.
How you going?
Good, good.
Have you had a look yet?
No, I thought I'd save it.
Today's a big day. We are getting Komodo dragons at the reptile park for the first time ever. Our lizards actually originated from the United States and they've been exported and imported by us. Very, very special, and it's been a long time coming to get them here. Sorry, mate. Look at that. How special is that?
Oh, he's beautiful.
There are only a handful of Komodos currently in Australia, so Tim is proud to add to the numbers.
That's a bit of Komodo attitude. This is 1 year old. Now, Komodos hatch maybe only 30 centimetres long, very, very small, but they grow very quickly. And, 2 to 3 years of age, we could have a 2-metre lizard that's weighing 50 kilos. And this is the biggest lizard on Earth.
Yeah. Oh, what a beautiful boy. It's something that, as a reptile keeper, you dream about and talk about, and you think, oh, it's never going to happen. We'll never get Komodos, and they're finally here. So yeah, I don't know what else to say. I'm speechless.
Komodo dragons are an endangered species. The plan for this male and female is to get together and boost the numbers of dragons in captivity.
Hello. Don't you open your mouth at me, buddy. Before we put them into their enclosure, it's important that we just have a basic look over to make sure that they're healthy and well. So have a look up around the eyes, mouth, nose. Clear? The boy's name is Kraken. It's actually pretty special because Kraken was the name of the first Komodo dragon ever to be studied by Westerners. So Komodos are in a really isolated little spot in Indonesia, and it's a pretty symbolic name.
And this is what the 2 young Komodos will look like when fully grown. Only around 2,000 are left in the wild. These prehistoric creatures can grow to 3 metres and can top 100 kilograms.
Let's have a look at the girl. What's her name?
Daenerys.
Daenerys. What is that?
Name the female Daenerys. It might be a little bit lame to some, like Tim, but basically it's from a TV show, and Daenerys is actually queen of all the dragons. So I thought that kind of suited our first female Komodo.
Hello, little darling.
Look at that mouth.
She's very pretty, and she's cheeky. She's trying to whip this tail around. It's been a big trip getting here, but now it's time to get them into their enclosure and get them settled.
We separated the group here.
Yep, we've taken them away from the herd.
South of Darwin, Chris and Buffalo dairy farmer Jeff are trying to move Penny into a crush.
Steady, steady, girl, steady, easy, baby.
The 10-year-old new mum has deformed horns. They're growing into her skull, dangerously close to her brain.
Whoa, whoa.
The idea today is to sedate her, make her nice and relaxed, and then using a wire, cut through those horns and shorten them, and really free up some space so she can get on with her life pain-free.
No. No.
Come on, girl. In we go.
Come on, Spidey. Come on, Patty.
In we
Come
go.
on.
There we go. Good girl. There we go.
We'll shut this gate.
Penny is finally in the cooling yard, but the battle isn't over.
Whoa, Spidey. Whoa.
At the moment, it's a bit of a dance between Jeff and Penny. Each time she moves in and sniffs him and gives him bad body language, he moves away. At the moment she calms down, he comes closer. Hopefully, with this patient approach, we'll get her in. What's her problem at the moment?
She's just upset. No. Come on, off you go. Come on. That's me, darling. Up you go. Up you go. Bobby's there too. Come on.
We're slowly getting your trust, aren't we? Very slowly.
We've got her in. We'll shut this gate.
Finally, Penny is into the race, but right now she isn't exactly thrilled with the situation. She is looking a bit stressed. The problem with stress is that it really makes the behaviour of any animal unpredictable. And when you consider what we have to do to Penny today, it's obviously a very dangerous situation.
Whoa, pet, whoa, pet, whoa, 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 whoa.
Pretty special, Jules. Not every day you're going to be doing this.
Oh, I know, right?
Yeah.
At the Australian Reptile Park, Tim and keeper Julie are releasing female Komodo Daenerys into her new enclosure.
Look at that.
Oh, she wants to go. All right, I'm just going to let her go right up there. There you go. Hey, 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 hey. You're all right. Getting the Komodos here today is definitely a historical event for us here at the Reptile Park. It's a species we've never held, and it's also the largest living species of lizard in the entire world.
She looks good. She's just sizing you up thinking, am I going to take her on or not?
I definitely think the female was a little bit more feisty than the male, so, it'll be interesting as we get to know their different personalities.
Once in a lifetime, and certainly a first for me and the park. OK, mate.
As Daenerys gets accustomed to her new home, it's Tim's turn to release the male Komodo, Kraken.
Perfect. They're babies. They're only 1.2 metres long, but over the next few years, they're going to turn into 3-metre lizards, 100 kilos. They're a really interesting critter, and to think we're now going to have them is something I didn't think would ever happen. All right, mister. I'll see you later.
In Bondi, Lisa is making a special house call. 2 pet lovers desperately need her help with a doggy dilemma.
Choosing a new dog is never an easy decision. I just hope that I can help them make the right choice.
Hey Lisa, how are you?
Hi, good.
Thanks for coming.
This family has owned dogs in the past and are now ready to open their home and their hearts to a new arrival.
So I need as much information as possible. I need to know what you want to do with this dog, what sort of size dog, what kind of coat, activity levels.
I don't want something that's going to require a lot of exercise and a lot of attention.
Okay.
You know, we're looking at something that's got a pretty good temperament as well. We don't want a shedder.
Yes.
We don't want something that smells when it gets wet. So we're limiting choices,
that's really narrow. Are you sure you want a dog?
Yes.
Brad and Amanda have got a list of criteria that is actually quite overwhelming. They have so many things that they want in a dog, and I don't know if I'm going to be able to find that. So you want a dog that can live in Bondi, that's not the size of a Great Dane, it's not a Chihuahua, it doesn't shed hair, it's not allowed to smell like a dog. It's got to be able to walk on a lead, but like exercise, but not be unruly and not run like a lunatic, and want your companionship, but not be high maintenance. Okay, all right. This is the unicorn of a dog that we are creating.
We're getting there. We've given Lisa a really tough job, and, you know, even we don't know if such a dog exists.
I'll be in touch, guys. I'm not going to give away anything just yet.
Thanks, Lisa.
That's okay.
This is the first chance I've really had to be up close and personal with Penny's horns, and you can see they've already pressed in, and if we did nothing, it would kill her. There's no doubt about that.
At a buffalo dairy farm outside Darwin, Chris is about to begin life-saving treatment on Penny.
And I'll give her an injection into the muscle, which is just going to relax her.
Yep.
And from there, if we can actually get her out with her head tied up, in a nice little halter, we'll do the procedure.
Concerned farmer Jeff is hoping for a good outcome.
It's life-threatening to her. And, you know, she's a top little girl.
Straight away I know that I've actually managed to get a decent dose into it because that drooling's begun.
Easy, baby.
Her eyes are starting to look a little bit droopy and she's starting to sway. They're telltale signs. She needs to come out now. That's all right, she's going.
With Penny now relaxed enough, it's safe for Chris to begin the procedure.
The very inside of the horn has a blood supply and nerves in there as well. So if we go through the wrong part, she could feel it. I don't want that, so I'm going to block out any sensation with a nerve block. Okay, doesn't seem like much, but this is embryotomy wire. The whole idea with this is it provides a really fine cut through the horn whilst also essentially blocking off the blood vessels as it goes. That's really effective. Just have to keep it moving nice and quick. I may get a little bit of blood, but that'll be fine. We can manage that. I'm only going to cut off about half the horn. That may be enough to be a permanent fix. If it's not, it's still going to buy about 10 years of carefree life for her. Starting to get a bit of smoke there too. Okay, not much blood loss. We've gone into a nice area there, just a little bit of bleeding, which is what you expect. And we haven't exposed that skull cavity, which is really the priority. Hopefully now, if it grows out, it'll take it away from the body rather than into it. Still want to go. The wire's getting quite hot between the fingers.
I'll bet it is.
Here we go. Almost done, girl.
Look, no blood at all.
No blood at all.
Well done. Oh, look at you.
Having this off her head really means that she doesn't have that ticking clock beside her brain that whole time. Now she can graze, she can wander around, she can raise her babies, maybe even produce just a bit of milk for Jeff, but she doesn't have to have this worry sitting right there.
Penny will spend the next few hours sleeping off her sedation. But for now, everyone, including her little calf Mary, is happy.
In so many other situations and on other properties, Penny may have just been put down with this problem, but because of the bond that Jeff and her have, she's got her a second chance.
I'm sure you've had lots of thanks from people, but I'd like to think I've just gone to the top of saying thank you.
I think the most pleasing thing for me is the fact that Penny's happy and Jeff seems thrilled.
Well, here you go, Kraken. Your first look around, mate. Now you behave.
At the Australian Reptile Park, Tim is giving Komodo dragon Kraken a guided tour of his new home.
We call ourselves a hands-on zoo and we do things a little bit differently. We take Komodo dragons out for people to have a pat. G'day, guys. How you going? Now, doesn't look that big at the moment, but this is Kraken and he's a Komodo dragon, the biggest lizard on Earth. There you go. Komodos are seriously endangered. They are getting protection now and they're being well looked after, but the important thing is that people do have an experience with Komodos and they know about them. If people touch a lizard, feel a lizard, see a lizard, they know a Komodo dragon, they want to help. What's he feel like?
A bit like a crocodile.
A bit like a crocodile, yeah. Well, I think they're all pretty similar. They're all like still living dinosaurs. You know, you're the first people to pat him.
I feel special.
Yeah, you are. You give him a pat down on the back. There you go. This is a Komodo dragon, and his name's Kraken. When a little kid that's into dinosaurs and things like that sees a real-life Komodo dragon, there's a look on their face that, you know, you can't beat it. It's really special.
I will pat on his tail.
Yes, I'll hold the tail out and you can pat him on the tail. Very brave. There you are. I've got his head. This is a really good moment because he's suitable for the reptile park. He's going to be a good lizard, he's going to be an ambassador for his species, and he's going to be a valuable part of the breeding program.
You look good. I'll leave you in peace now.
Near Darwin, Penny is happily recovering with her little calf Mary.
The great thing is that she's going to relax a lot more knowing the baby's back.
Yeah. Brilliant, and it's helped her and she can have a different life and hopefully go back to doing the job.
Considering what Penny's been through in her life and the fact that nothing's ever been easy, she deserves this break and she deserves to have Jeff. The two of them together, they're one hell of a team. What do you got here?
Well, what have I got here? One for you, one for me, and some of top-end Buffalo's best. Buffalo ricotta.
How about that? You've gone all gourmet on me.
Hey, no.
Well, Jeff.
Here's to a lovely day.
And here's to Penny.
Bless you all, mate. Lovely having you. I really mean that.
I wonder what Lisa's what to have to say.
I don't know. I'm very curious about what's going on.
Bondi pet lovers Brad and Amanda have enlisted Lisa's help to find the perfect dog to suit their lifestyle.
Hello.
Hi, Lisa. How are you?
Hi, Lisa. How are you?
Good.
I can't wait to see what Lisa's come up with to fulfill all the criteria that we gave him.
So why are we here? What's going on?
Well, I've brought you guys here because there is a dog that I would love you to meet.
Oh, okay.
I'm really hoping that Brad and Amanda meet this dog and fall in love with him. He's a gentle giant. He is this big couch potato. He's a sook. He's affectionate. I personally think that he will be perfect for Brad and Amanda.
Ooh.
Boy.
Who have we got here, Lisa?
So, this is Tigu.
Right.
And this is Jeanette.
Hi, Jeanette.
Hi, Jeanette. How are you? Nice to meet you.
A greyhound.
Yeah, I didn't...
I wasn't expecting that, Lisa.
No. Lisa, he ticks some of the boxes, doesn't he? He's got the fur, the short fur, the right height.
They're quite lazy.
Okay.
They just love a short walk in the morning and in the evening, about 20 minutes is fine.
Right. Greyhound, what the racing dog, you know, I've always thought greyhounds would be not a vicious dog, but a dog you might have to watch with smaller dogs. So there's a lot of questions in my mind I have to have answered, yes.
The muzzle.
He's not aggressive at all. It's a law in Australia that greyhounds have to wear muzzles. There is a program that they can do called Greenhound where you can sort of rehabilitate them and they don't have to wear their muzzle anymore.
Do you mind if I just take him for a little walk? I mean, just to get a feel for him?
My pleasure.
Come on, mate.
Brad and Amanda have their reservations about Tigu. They have some preconceived ideas about greyhounds, and a lot of people do. The problem is that there is a myth and a stigma that greyhounds are aggressive, that they don't make good pets, and that is totally untrue.
You know, he's affectionate, that's slightly aloof. without being overboard.
Yep.
Yeah, well,
All right.
we have to give it some thought.
I think so.
I think he's a really lovely boy.
Yeah, I think you're sold on him.
Hello. Yeah, gorgeous boy. I think Lisa's been quite clever with whom she's come up with, given all the criteria which we gave her. He's gorgeous and I'm sort of in love with him, but I just want to make sure that it's the right fit for both Tigu and for us.
Tigu's foster carer wants Brad and Amanda to take him home for a 2-week trial to see if all 3 of them get along.
Hey, Tigu, it's not about them interviewing you, it's about you interviewing them. Are they the owners you want?
The cat that's fallen? Yeah, come straight through. So, what's happened?
He was able to squeeze through the window in the bathroom, got out and fallen.
Okay.
So we found him on the 3rd floor in some bushes. Okay. So he's limping.
Chris is back in Bondi, and 1-year-old Spidey has been rushed into the clinic by Julia and her dad Roger after a shocking accident.
Apparently Roger was trying to catch Spidey, but Spidey saw a narrow opening in a door, made a run for it, and overbalanced on the windowsill and fell at least 9 metres. For any animal, that's a tough fall. The first thing I do with Spidey is look at his gum colour. That gives me a really clear idea about his circulation, whether he's in shock and whether he's losing blood. He's just a little pale on that side. So what I'm doing at the moment is just assessing his vital signs. Okay. His heart rate, it's certainly up there. His breathing rate's very high too. I mean, he's breathing at more than 1 breath a second. It's almost like he's panting.
Spidey's elevated vital signs are serious cause for concern.
What the high heart rate, the high respiratory rate, and the pale gum colour is telling me is that Spidey is certainly in shock right now.
Okay.
Shock can be incredibly dangerous. Essentially, the body overreacts and sends the blood away from the important parts like the lungs, the heart, and the other internal organs to the muscles, expecting that animal has to make a run for it, when really, it's the worst possible situation.
Here he is.
Hi. Hello, Tigu.
Hello, mate.
How are you? Hello. Hello.
At Bondi, Lisa's plan to match up a retired greyhound racer with her empty nest of friends Amanda and Brad is about to be put to the test.
Brad and Amanda have decided to take Tigu home for a trial period. Now, while the 3 of them may get on famously, there's still a lot that could go wrong, so I'm not going to get my hopes up just yet.
What a good boy.
Hello, boy. Hello. Come say hello. Oh, that's lovely.
Yeah?
Baby boy. Tigu doesn't seem too nervous. He actually seems quite relaxed and chilled, which I think taking is a good sign.
What do you think, mate?
What do you think of these people?
What do you think?
Are they all right? Tigu's had a pretty rough start to his life. He's been on the racetrack and then with a foster carer, and now he's here in Brad and Amanda's home, working out whether or not he's going to be staying here. And I really hope that this gorgeous, loving, affectionate dog has his last stop right here. I'm keeping my fingers crossed that everything works out, but like I said, I don't want you rushing into it. No. This was just an idea that came to mind. I think he suits you guys, so now we just got to see if it actually works.
Good boy.
But as foster carer Jeanette goes to leave...
All right, Tigu, you're not going with Jeanette, bud.
Tigu seems to be having second thoughts.
I'll get him back, bud. Tigu, you're staying here. Oh, this is going to be hard. You're staying with Brad and Amanda.
Quick.
Come on. Come on, bud. He's obviously really bonded with Jeanette, but he'll get used to you guys. Oh, this is hard.
There we go.
Thanks, Jeanette.
That's okay. Bye.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
It's been a big risk introducing Brad and Amanda to a dog they've never met, to a breed they've never considered. In theory, it should work. I just hope they don't prove me wrong.
Okay, here we start the trial.
Yep.
That actually might be him more than us.
That's right.
We'll have to wait and see.
The thing we're fighting at the moment is the fact that when they are in shock, all the blood essentially goes to their muscles, when really the parts of their body that need it are their essential organs like their lungs and heart.
At the Bondi Clinic, 1-year-old Spidey is in shock after falling 3 stories from a window ledge. Distressed owner Julia and her father Roger found the injured cat crying for help in the bushes below.
What I might do straight away is just give him something for the shock, just to relax him and also take away some of the pain.
Yeah.
Okay, let's have a look through all these legs here. My immediate concerns, given the fact that Spidey has fallen at least 9 metres, is trauma. So either internal injuries or fractures to those legs.
Is that the one?
Yeah, it's certainly sore. His back right, he's really resenting me doing too much to that.
Do you think it's broken?
Look, it's certainly sore, but the only way to know for sure whether there is a fracture is with an X-ray.
But suddenly, Roger spots a distressing problem.
It's a little bit of blood.
Let's have a little look here. All the places where he's got blood.
Yeah, I know.
It's where a man doesn't want to have any sort of pain whatsoever. He almost looks like he has a little abrasion on the skin just around that area.
I'm thinking, because it was a fairly twiggy sort of bush.
Yeah, was it?
Yeah.
Worst case scenario here, if a branch has penetrated into Spidey's abdominal cavity, it could have ruptured a blood vessel or punctured an important organ like the liver or the kidney. If that has happened, he could be bleeding internally. I think if we X-ray just this back half of his body,
Yeah, I think so.
that way we'll know for sure. Okay, let's do that now. If Spidey has suffered some sort of internal injury that's now bleeding into his abdominal cavity, then the clock is ticking. The simple fact is that a fracture won't kill Spidey, but internal bleeding might.
Roger and his anxious daughter Julia are praying for good news.
X-ray!
What I'm looking for is any loss of definition of these organs here. If I can't see them clearly, then it means there's fluid wrapped around those organs, which would be blood. In this case though, I can see a liver, I can see a kidney, I can see intestines, even a bladder here. So I can quite confidently say there's no bleeding happening around those organs. It's good news. I mean, even his spine here is looking in alignment. No fractures through these bones here. This little guy has somehow managed to find a way to land, and land well. The bush may very well have saved his life. So coming through here, I think we've been a little bit harsh on Spidey. He may actually be a Spider-Man.
Oh, is that right?
There's no fractures at all.
No fracture. And no break.
No.
Little man.
Well done. So he is a lucky cat.
He's incredibly lucky. All right, so there's one more thing we need to do, just to clean him up before he goes home.
All right, okay.
And then you'll be on your way.
I think it's just amazing that he was so daring in the first place, falling 3 floors, and you would think, you know, any normal cat might have had, you know, at least a sprain, at least something to show for it. But no, Spidey Man, he definitely survived.
So guys, get you to hold him up there. Turns out the source of this blood on his belly isn't internal, it's external. It's coming from his penis. Of all places you get spiked by a tree, in Spidey's case, it was that place that is the most sensitive of all. If this is the worst thing that happens, it's not all bad, is it? Even though Spidey's a cat, the basic principles of first aid still apply. If you have swelling and inflammation, it's important to bring that down with something cold. Unfortunately for Spidey, it must feel like the worst possible treatment right now. Yeah, it's all in working order.
Oh, good.
Yeah.
Good to know.
That's a relief.
Fortunately for Spidey, the indignity is finally over and he can go home.
He will not be going outside. I'm going to be watching him like a hawk from now on to make sure that he is very much safe.
So I'm very happy for you guys that it's all worked out okay.
Thanks very much.
Okay, no problem at all. All right. Given the events of today, it's safe to say that Spidey won't be straying too far away from Julia. She's going to have this spider cat locked in her web for a long time to come, and he won't be going near any open windows.
So today is the end of the cooling off period, huh?
Yeah.
How's it been going?
Why don't you come and have a look?
At Bondi, it's been 2 weeks since Tigu moved in with Amanda and Brad. And it's time to see how everyone is getting along.
So today's decision day for Brad, Amanda and Tigu, and I'm really hoping that visiting them now, I will see a happy family. Hey Amanda!
Hi Lisa, how are you? Good to see you.
Hi, yeah, thank you. Big kisses.
Well, as you can see, well, what do you think?
Are you at home?
Do you think he looks happy?
Are you at home here? Hey? You're at home here?
He's so at home.
Oh, that's so
this
great
is, yeah, he's a happy boy.
Daddy.
I can't believe it's only 2 weeks that Tigu's been here. It's really as if he's been here forever. He honestly is.
He smiles all the time.
Oh, and so do you guys.
Every day's a happy day for him.
Yeah. He's the best dog, Lisa. Really,
Yeah.
you've done well.
Yeah, you have.
It's amazing.
I had such a all these misconceptions about what owning a greyhound's all about, and now that I've got one and he's here with us, I was just so wrong. They are just gentle, they're quiet, and they're just loving.
Not once have I seen any aggression.
Well, I think he belongs here and
He
not on
does.
the track.
He does.
He does
That's
belong.
for sure.
He's retired.
It's not just Brad and Amanda who are happy with the arrangements. Tigu is clearly thriving in his new home as well.
Happy with your new lodgings?
Tigu's won the lottery. Here he is in Bondi, a pampered pooch with a family that absolutely love him. It couldn't be any better. You enjoy your new family? Hey? You enjoy your new family?
Thanks once again. Thank
Enjoy
you so
him.
much.
My pleasure.
Bye.
Take care.
He's home.
Yep.
Right now, I'm on my way to the Australian Reptile Park. See if I can help out a blue-tongued lizard that's got itself into all sorts of trouble.
The call for help has come from the park's general manager, Tim Faulkner.
Come on, buddy.
Timmy,
Hey, mate.
I could have really taken advantage of that situation.
I'm glad
Really
you didn't.
scared you.
It's only the world's deadliest spider.
Yeah, I've been driving up here wondering, how does a lizard break its leg?
He gets in a fight with his wife.
Okay, that
True.
explains it.
She bit him, rolled and tumbled, and his leg's toast.
All right, let's go and see this.
Yeah, I'll show you where he
Like
is.
now.
Follow me. I've called Chris up to have a look at little Centralian blue tongue. Larry's had a bit of an altercation with his girlfriend. The leg's limp. It's straight out. He hasn't used it for a few days now. Doesn't look good.
He's obviously not happy.
Doesn't want to move it, does he?
No, he doesn't. That's a good example as he's turning. That should be the time it's really digging in and pushing off, but he's just got it stretched out.
Yeah. Looks sore.
Without an X-ray, it's often tricky to know whether you're dealing with a fractured leg or a dislocation or a serious sprain or even a bruise. But in this case, looking at the way the leg has deviated and is essentially deformed now, you know it's broken. I feel like we need to be doing something to that to try to fix it.
Yeah.
Because if we don't, it's just going to keep on dragging along behind him.
Yep.
But the tricky thing is you can't put a blue-tongued lizard on crutches.
No. The worry is if he's got a broken leg and the bones are in there grinding on each other, that he's in a lot of pain. So I guess even if Chris can't make his leg perfect, he can stop him from being in pain.
You just need to work out exactly where this break is. We can do it fairly easily by just comparing the good leg with the bad leg. I think this area here, which is his femur, is fine because when you compare it to this side, they're very similar.
Yeah.
I think his hip joint's intact because he can do all the movements that this leg can do.
Yep.
They can really lift it up and lift it down.
Yep.
But where he struggles is in the stuff below what is his knee. And he just really doesn't want to bend that leg at all.
And that would make sense. If the female was to bite him, she's going to get the end of the leg, not up near the hip.
Yeah, exactly. Once I get to the tibia, which is the long leg bone, I can see there's a big deviation. It's really sunken in and twisted. So we know where the fracture is. What we don't know, though, is how we're going to fix it. It's about as small as bones get.
What are you going to do?
Well, I don't know. Even though it's a very small fracture, it'll cause big problems if we can't fix it. So now I have to come up with some way to fix a broken leg in a lizard. It won't be easy. We really need to get that bend back into it. We need to get some strength into it, but we need to keep the bones still enough that they actually do mend up.
And that'll ease his pain a bit as well if it's there?
Yeah. I'm racking my brain for ideas about how we fix this leg. Pins aren't going to work, wires aren't going to work, screws, impossible. All of a sudden, it comes to me. You feel like helping me out?
Oh, I'd love to help you out.
Yeah?
Yeah, what can I do?
But you've been working hard.
I've been working hard.
Okay. Why don't you go and have an ice cream?
Yep.
And come back once you finish the ice cream.
Okay, I can do that. See you in a minute.
You've got to realise there's an ulterior motive here. I need something from this ice cream. First of all, I need Tim to finish it.
Wasn't a very nice one.
Clean your mouth. Look at you.
I've still got some there.
Yeah. Good old Tim seemingly approaches ice creams like he approaches everything else in life. 100 miles an hour. There is chocolate all over his face. But Tim has left me the most important part of the ice cream, which is the stick. This stick, once it's cut down, will be a perfect splint for this lizard's broken leg.
Geez, you're an ideas man. You know, this is the good thing about Chris. I'm there thinking about a possible amputation, and he's got a simple solution that's going to work. Best case for the lizard.
All right, Timmy, so I'm going to need your help here. So the idea is going to be put this splint over the top, and where there's that bow in the leg, a tape should actually bring that and straighten that out. Everything here is painstakingly small and painstakingly delicate, but if you get it wrong, the consequences will be dramatic. Larry will just not tolerate a splint that doesn't fit and that rubs on his leg. So just getting it right is crucial. I'm pretty happy with how that's sitting there. Let's give it a test drive.
Okay, you want him down?
Yeah. Yeah, already supporting
look at
more
that.
weight on that.
That must feel really good for him. Instantly, literally instantly, he's up on his leg. What a solution.
So if you can leave this splint on for ideally 3 weeks,
yep,
I think we'll be laughing.
The good news is that Larry should make a full recovery, but there are no guarantees about his love life.
Larry has a lot of L's in his life. Lonely, loveless, unlucky in love. The one L he won't be having for quite a few weeks though is a lady. They're definitely off limits.
You playful boy. Where's the Spidey? Where's the Spidey?
As for Spidey, the naughty cat which jumped from a third-storey window, it seems he's finally learnt his lesson.
Spidey has been staying away from windows actually a fair bit lately. He's been hiding under a lot of furniture every time I open a window or open a door. So obviously he doesn't really want to have a repeat of last time.
Now can we get you running so we can show everyone how good your legs are?
Very lucky, definitely. Spidey might have lost one of his 9 lives, but he definitely pulled through and he's better than ever.
He's Spidey.
Hello again.
Hi, Chris.
How you going?
Good. Welcome back to Kittens.
It's good to be back.
Great.
What have you got lined up for me this time?
Well, I hope we've got some good cases for you.
Always have. Just
Go
that
on out the
extra
back.
special one.
Yes.
Chris is at the Marlin Coast Veterinary Hospital in far north Queensland. He's lending a hand at the busy clinic, which looks after both native and domestic animals. But there's no time for the visiting vet to settle in.
How you doing? With Danny, isn't it?
Yes.
Yeah, I'm Chris. How are you?
Good, thanks.
Is the dog that got a bit close to the trimmer? Come on through.
Trimmer, I should say. Come on.
Danny, the clinic's gardener, has brought in his dog Misty after a freak accident at home.
So what happened?
I was just trimming up my hedge trimmer.
Yeah.
Just on the hedge, and she just ran in and snapped at it, sort of thing, and just bit the bottom of the blade.
Oh, God.
And then,
Yeah, wow.
I thought to begin with I chopped a nose off or cut her lips open sort of thing, and the amount of blood that was everywhere.
That blade has cut right across her nose there. Yeah, it's got blood in the mouth too.
Well, there could be a tongue, could be caught it as well.
Yeah. Misty looks quite stressed, but also around her mouth you can see a lot of blood. The first challenge is going to be working out exactly where this blood's coming from. The first check is inside her mouth, especially around her tongue. When a dog lunges, sometimes the tongue will come out. If that's happened, it could have been cut off.
Fortunately, Misty's tongue looks to be intact, but Chris is still worried about the deep cut to her nose.
It's obviously gone through that top layer, which is quite thick, and then down into the tissue underneath. Really, if she'd gone a half a centimetre further on, that would have taken her nose off. The problem we've got is that it's quite an open wound, and it's still spreading out. And as it swells, since the injury is quite recent, it will actually push those wound edges further apart. I really think the only option for her is to actually stitch that nose.
Okay.
If she continues to lick at it, then those wound edges aren't going to come together as we need them to. So the simple fact is, what she needs is an anaesthetic and stitches. Okay, so if you don't mind, I'll take her from you now. Cheers.
So they might put him to sleep and then take the hook out.
Trinette and her daughters Maya and Amy have arrived at the Bondi Referral Hospital SASH with a distressed bird they've named Colin.
We were going to Main Cove River Park for a bit of afternoon activities, but we found a bird stuck in the reeds. So we investigated and discovered that he had a hook and fishing lines attached to him and to the reed, so he couldn't get away.
Trinette and her family of committed rescuers managed to capture Colin. They're now hoping that emergency vet Dr. Claire Boland can help the injured cormorant.
Hi, how are you? I'm Claire. What do you have down here?
Cormorant, we found it at Main Cove River Park.
Oh, great. Let's bring him in and we'll have a look. Come through this way. Okay. Oh yeah, isn't he beautiful?
Yep.
But he's got a hook hanging out.
But you can see it, can't you?
Yeah.
So not very happy.
No. I can see a fish hook stuck in his feathers, in his chest, just near his wing. He looks cold, he's wet, he's shivering. I don't know what damage that fish hook's done yet. Hello. Okay, I can see that fishing line. Have a look under here at the hook. Look how big that is. If this hook was left in there, it's going to cause a nasty infection and he'll get really, really sick. Okay. This little guy has been so lucky to be found by Trinette and the girls when he was. If he spent another night out there, I don't know if he would have survived.
Claire is also worried that the hook may have punctured the cormorant's vital organs or even broken his bones.
That's a good bird, hey?
A full examination is needed to determine if Colin has any other potentially life-threatening injuries.
He's probably been flapping around quite a bit on the end of the fishing line, so he could have some trauma. At this stage, I haven't found any other injuries. He's holding his wings in the right position, he's using his feet, and he looks fairly bright and responsive. So our next step, we'll take him through and give him an anaesthetic, take an X-ray of him, assess him to see if he's eaten any further hooks. Well, good job. They're pretty hard to catch.
Yeah, and it was very muddy, very slippery.
Yeah, we'll take him through and get him assessed. Okay, take some X-rays and see what we find.
Fantastic.
All right, great. The worst case for this little cormorant is if it has damaged his flight muscles, broken a bone, or punctured into his internal cavities like his chest or his lungs. He could get a really serious infection, and I don't know if we'll be able to save him if that's happened.
Have you ever seen this before? A dog that's tried to attack an edge trimmer?
No, I haven't actually. So, there's a first time for everything.
Yeah.
At the Marlin Coast Veterinary Hospital in Cairns, Chris is anaesthetising Misty.
Good girl.
The naughty border collie seriously injured her nose on a hedge trimmer.
So now Misty is anaesthetised. It's time to get her through to surgery and try to correct all the damage that hedge trimmer did. Okay, here we go. From what I can see right now, it seems like the entire left side of the nostril needs to be put back together and just a small section of the right. We should be looking at around 4 stitches to really bring this together. Whew.
But almost straight away, what Chris believed to be a relatively straightforward procedure has suddenly become a lot more complicated.
You can see now as I'm putting these sutures through just how deep that wound is. Wow, so that's going a lot further back than we thought. See, that's extending right into the back of the nose. We're going deep into the nostril there. So it's clearly one blade has come across, just clipped here and cut right into the side of the nose there, then continued on and cut through there. So, whew. You can see just how close to absolute disaster Misty has come here.
Misty will now need even more stitches in her lacerated nose.
This is a very small and a very sensitive area. So if I'm in any way off with my sutures, it will actually pull the nose off to one side. That's obviously not what we want here. All right, it's pretty good. The left side has actually come together pretty well, but now it's onto the right side. The challenge here is that we're now so far up this nostril here that I really can't see where the suture's been placed. Really going more on feel. We're now 7 stitches in, and that really gives you a good measure of the fact that without stitches, this just would not have closed up. All right, well, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 stitches later, we're done.
Finally, Misty's nose job is finished and the Border Collie can be taken off anaesthetic.
All Misty needs to do now is to sleep off the anaesthetic, and soon enough, Danny will be here to take her home. You rest up.
Hi, Serena.
Hi.
Guess what I've got?
What is this?
A cormorant.
Oh, wow.
At Sash, little Colin is in serious trouble.
He's got a big fish hook stuck on his chest.
Oh my God, he has too.
Yeah.
Okay.
Emergency vet Dr. Claire Boland is hoping X-rays will confirm whether the hook has caused any serious internal injuries.
All right, buddy.
But first, Colin needs to be anaesthetised, and it's incredibly risky.
Pop your head in there, sweetie. We can't keep this little cormorant asleep for too long. He can build up anaesthetic in his system and they can stop breathing and even die. Big deep breaths, buddy. Big deep breaths. Go to sleep, Colin. We have to get the procedures done as quickly as possible. Okay, that's good. He's finally asleep. I want to make sure the fish hook in his skin hasn't done any damage to his bones. Okay. There he is. It's good news on his x-ray. It looks like the fish hook's just in the skin or maybe the muscle, but it doesn't look like it's damaged anything internally, and I don't see any fish hooks in his stomach.
But the little bird isn't out of danger yet. The fish hook needs to be removed urgently, and it will be a delicate procedure.
We'll just get him to go back to sleep and then we'll try and take this hook out, okay, Serena? Okay. I don't want to cause any further damage to his skin or his muscles, and I don't want to leave any little bits behind. That could cause a really nasty infection.
You happy with how that looks and feels? Should we go and cut the small talk? All right, let's go.
At the Marlin Coast Veterinary Hospital, Danny is waiting for his little mate, Misty.
Look, it is the boss.
The naughty Border Collie attacked a hedge trimmer and needed surgery to repair her nose.
Excited to pick her up. Hopefully she's all better now. Hopefully Chris has done the trick.
How are you, Dad?
Good, thanks. Misty.
Well, the tail's wagging. It's a good sign.
She's still in one piece?
Yep. What do you reckon?
Oh, well, you can't even see them.
So it took 9 stitches.
9 stitches?
Yeah.
Oh, my God.
And right on the inside of this right nostril, it was cut about 1 centimetre back. So on the side that didn't look too badly affected, that was actually where most of the damage was.
Misty is very neat. You could hardly see the stitches, but it's amazing that Chris was able to stitch it all up. I'm hoping now that Misty will stay away from my tools when I'm using them and sit back and watch instead of chasing them and biting at them. Thanks
By the
very
looks of it,
much.
she's keen to get going.
Oh, yes.
All the best, Dan.
Yeah, greatly appreciate it.
Yeah, no worries, buddy. I'm going to say I'm happy and even a little bit relieved that Danny thinks I've done a good nose job on Misty. And hopefully for Misty's sake, she's got a few days off the job from now on. This part of North Queensland is renowned for having some pretty fast and some pretty deadly wildlife, but the animal I'm about to go and see is one of the slowest creatures around, but it's that speed that may have just got him into trouble.
Later that day, Chris is answering an emergency call-out for an unusual hit-run victim.
Who is it, boys?
Hello. Are you the turtle I come about?
Hello,
No? Hello,
how
how you
are
going?
you?
I'm Chris.
Christy, lovely
Nice
to meet
Chrissy.
you.
Hey guys.
Say hello, this is Xavier and Tane.
Okay, nice to meet you.
Thank you so much for coming. We've
That's
got
all
a
right.
sick turtle.
Yeah, where is he?
Just through here.
All right.
Christy is concerned about an injured turtle she found on the side of a busy local road.
He was almost getting hit by the other cars passing by, so we got out of the car, we picked him up and we saw that he'd had a big crack underneath, so we brought him home and called Mullen Coast. This is Donatello.
Donatello. Who named him Donatello? Where did you find him?
He was just on the side of the road.
I might get him out and have a look at him. He is a big turtle. He's a lot bigger than we get back home.
Really?
Yeah, you bet.
We breed them big up here.
It's a monster. Guys, could you just grab my little box there?
Good boy.
Thank you. The first thing Christy noticed when she picked up this turtle is that it has a crack. Sometimes the crack in the shell can only be a hint as to what's occurring beneath the shell. So my worry is that if the car's hit this guy hard enough, then it may have actually ruptured those internal organs. We could be looking at a pneumothorax, so a punctured lung, or even more serious internal injuries. That is a big crack right there. When you look at where the injuries are at the front of the shell underneath and also the chip here, it's safe to assume that when it was hit by a car, the car hit the front half.
Yeah.
What I find amazing though is with this neck being so long, how the head hasn't got any injuries.
Yeah.
Because as you can see, you find it incredibly hard to tuck all of that neck and head inside the shell. So he's either been incredibly lucky or there are injuries that we just haven't seen yet. I'll just check out the rest of him for any other injuries.
So it is a boy?
Well, that's what I was going to look at.
Is that a tail or?
It's a tail, but what'd you call him, Donatello?
Oh.
You okay with Donna?
It's a girl.
It's a girl.
It's a girl.
So I'm quite keen to take her back to the clinic and x-ray her to see whether she has any other serious injuries.
Yeah.
So we're going to take her now and go and patch her up.
And when you finish, can you take her back here? And then we put her back where we found her, but not on the road.
Yeah, we'll definitely let you know when she's all fixed up. Even though we've cleared up a few mysteries, like the fact that he is actually a she, there are still quite a few unknowns here. We truly won't know the extent of Donna's injuries until we get back to the clinic. An x-ray will give us a really clear view about what's happening underneath that shell. And once we do that, we'll be able to plan out what sort of future she has. Okay guys, we'll talk to you soon.
Thanks
again.
See you later, Chris.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Thank you.
Hopefully the hook comes out easily. I don't know how far that's stuck in.
At SASH, emergency vet Dr. Claire Boland is about to try to remove the fishhook, which is lodged in Colin's abdomen.
Oh wow, yeah. It's quite red and swollen.
Claire will need to work fast.
Keep breathing, little buddy. That's all we want. Cormorants are not good under anaesthetic. They're used to diving deep under the water and they can hold their breath for a very long time.
It will be vet nurse Serena's job to closely monitor Colin's breathing and heart rate throughout the procedure.
How is he, Serena?
Yeah, he's fine.
He's good?
Yep.
So I'm going to try and remove this hook. I'm going to cut off the end with some pliers and then feed it through, pulling it out barb first so that I don't tear his skin. It's all right, little buddy. It's almost through.
Oh, wow.
There. That's a very big hook. Look how big that is. It's got a big barb on there. If we had have pulled that through the other way, that would have done a lot of damage.
Yeah.
Okay. We'll give that a clean off with some alcohol. And then we'll glue you back together, little bird.
A surgical strength tissue glue will be used instead of stitches to close up the 2 wounds left by the hook.
Okay.
Excellent.
I'm going to give him some antibiotics, pain relief, and warm fluids before he wakes up. Okay, so we've finished his fluids. Let's turn his anaesthetic off and wake him up. Now, this is the real test where I like to see him breathe.
Colin has now been anaesthetised for more than 30 minutes, so it's important that the little bird wakes up as quickly as possible.
Come on, little buddy. Come on, Colin. It's all finished. The hook's gone. His procedure's all finished and now I'm waking him up. At the moment, he's not really taking any breaths. I can't tell if he's just holding his breath because he's a seabird or if he's actually stopped breathing because of the anaesthetic. Wake up, buddy. Big deep breaths. Let's try him without his mask for a minute, Serena. So his eyes are starting to open. Oh, almost. He's moving. Hello.
Hey, buddy.
You're back again. He's breathing again. I'm really happy. In your hot, bud.
Colin is still a bit groggy from the anaesthetic, and he'll have to be closely monitored overnight in case of any side effects.
It's all finished, buddy.
She's got a big crack right across the middle there.
Poor darling.
So I might x-ray her straight away.
Yep.
In Cairns, Chris has arrived back at the Marlin Coast Veterinary Hospital with Donna.
Yeah, it's a nasty wound.
The long-necked turtle is in a bad way after being run over by a car.
Now we've made it back to the clinic, the reality dawns on me. This is where we have to try to fix this shell. And the more I look at it, the more I realise it's going to be one hell of a task. Do you have a box? I just need to find a way of positioning her on the x-ray, because I want to get a view straight through the side of a shell.
Yeah,
Any old cardboard boxes or polystyrene boxes? I think I've got an idea. What do you reckon?
Let's give it a go.
Okay.
With vet nurse Crystal giving the tick of approval, Chris is now ready to put his unusual invention to the test.
It's pretty good. You're not happy, are you? And deservedly so, but at least you can actually look me in the eyes and express your displeasure about this situation. All right, I'll make this quick. There's no doubt in my mind that not fixing Donna's shell is simply not an option. With an open shell like this, bacteria can just go straight inside the body, and from there, we're talking about a serious infection that could very well be fatal. Okay, she's pretty settled now. Okay, ready to go?
Yep. Cool.
You were very good. That neck just goes everywhere, doesn't it? Okay, we just need one more shot here. This might actually be the hardest one of all. Just straight on. Turtles obviously look like very unique creatures, and they certainly are. But you have to remember those bony plates that make up the shell are really there to protect the internal organs. Once you go through the shell, chances are there's something significant sitting underneath it. The fact is, in order to fully assess how serious Donna's injuries are, we need two views, one on the side and one from above. We've now taken those, so it's time to see the results. Wow, didn't expect that.
How you going, Sam?
Yeah, I'm all right.
Good, mate. I'm Steve. How are you?
Today, Specialist Surgeon Dr. Steve Fernside is working away from SASH. He's volunteering with a very important community clinic.
Well, I'm here today with Pets in the Park, which is great. It's a charity that helps support homeless people and their pets. So we're going to have a look over a few pets today and meet their owners, which is wonderful.
His first patient is 3-year-old Ty and his owner Sam.
I'm just worried about a pressure sore that he's got on his back foot.
Yeah, let's have a look. Which leg?
Right rear.
Right rear. All right.
It's all pussy.
Yeah, you might need a bit of treatment, that one, because that's actually open. And it's not too bad at the moment, but it could get a bit nasty. When you first look at Ty, you can see he's got some of these skin lesions that are signs that he's been living life reasonably hard. His bed most of the time is a concrete floor, and he's starting to get those abrasive type lesions over his pressure points, which if they get bad can become ulcerated and infected, and that can be a serious problem for this dog. We'll give you some antibiotic lotion for that, and that'll just keep it a little bit cleaner and help you maintain it while that callus forms over that spot. So it'll take the sting out of it, and it'll just help make it a bit more comfortable while it heals over, all right?
Basic medical treatment for animals can cost hundreds of dollars, but the team from Pets in the Park perform essential procedures free of charge.
For people who live on the street or live pretty hard lives, dogs are fantastic. They're always there for you, they're always happy to see you, never give you a hard time. So for those people, they are an essential part of their life. So if you can show everybody in Sydney how that dog looks, that's how a dog's supposed to look. Pretty fit, pretty slim. So whatever you're doing the right thing, mate. Looks great.
Thanks a lot. Whenever there's something wrong with him, whether, you know what I mean, it's something small or something major, yeah, I worry about him just like you do your children. So, yeah, it's nice to know that I'm doing the right thing.
In Cairns, Chris is anxiously awaiting the results of Donna's x-rays. The long-necked turtle has been run over by a car. Chris is worried she may have serious internal injuries.
There are really a few important parts of this x-ray. First of all, we want to see the initial injury we knew was already there, this crack in the base of the shell, and that's certainly showing that whilst it's there, it's not penetrating into any body cavities, which is really good news, but also it's allowing us to see the rest of the shell and see that there are no other cracks, there's no other damage that's been caused by the car. Although the first shot is good news, it's the second x-ray that holds most of the concern for me, because it'll reveal whether any organs have been damaged and whether any infection has taken hold. It's a very different view, but what it does show as well is that this head and neck, it really does protrude out the outside of the shell, and I'm still amazed that it hasn't been run over, because by the looks of it, there are no fractures through this neck region here. All the feet and leg bones are intact and fine, right down to these back legs. They're incredible creatures because they have almost all the same bones that we have, only they look so completely different. It's just all kept within this shell that's meant to provide that safety barrier for them.
Donna's shell has saved her life, but it's come at a cost.
I've never treated a freshwater turtle this big and never had to deal with a fracture in a shell this large. My concern right now is that maybe there is no way of fixing this injury. First of all, we have to lever it back into place, but then we need to work out a way to actually keep it in place, bearing in mind that we've got an animal that's going to rely on the shell for protection. Fixing turtle shells like that, it's never easy, and right now I'm not even sure how we do fix it. The tricky thing here is that you've got quite a thick shell that's fractured the whole way through, and the x-ray proves it. They are incredibly hard to fix, and right now, I'm not even sure we can fix it. If we can't fix this shell, then Donna will never be able to go back to the wild, and infection will be a constant concern for her. There is something that I've seen done before, which might work.
Yeah. Is it a bit of a gamble?
It is, but I might need some of the other nurses' help. So you guys don't happen to have spare bra clips? I'm being serious.
Well, I could take mine off.
Sorry, that wasn't a request. I just... Quite seriously, there is something I can do with bra clips. You left. Is there a shop that would have something like that? Like the clips that attach the bra at the back?
It's just one down the road at the shopping centre.
Yeah? Okay, is that going to be the safer option here?
Yeah.
All right, I'm going to leave now. I'm not sure if bra hooks have ever been used to fix a turtle shell before. I'm guessing not, though. Hi there.
Hi.
Hey, I have a rather interesting request.
Yeah?
I'm looking for some bra clips.
Some bra clips.
Yeah, not for me.
Yeah?
I've got all the support I need, but it's for a turtle.
A turtle?
Yeah.
Oh, cool.
Yeah. Do you have any little clips that I can sort of put over a crack in a shell and kind of tie some wire around? Just little metal clips is what I'm looking for.
Yes, I think I know what you're talking about. How about if we go that way?
Yeah, okay.
It's not every day you get somebody coming in, especially a vet, looking for a bra clip. I think something like this, because you've got so much of a backing on it, that would probably glue better. And then, if you
what
turn
are they
it... These are for your pants. So you hook them around and see the hook in here? So you might be able to hook it around, just like doing up the wedding dress, that one.
I've got a lot of experience with that.
Exactly, yes. You come in looking for a bra clip. I think he's got a one-track mind, but he's all sorted out now. I've sold him something else, hunky-dory. Our little turtle's going to be fine from now on.
All right, thank you very much.
Okay, see ya. Have a good one.
Yeah, we'll do.
See you next time.
Of course, there'll be a next time.
Bye.
See you later.
So Ashley, has he always limped since you've had him the whole time?
Oh, it happened at about, I think, maybe about 3 months.
Yeah, okay.
Dr. Steve Fernside is examining Thor as a part of a clinic called Pets in the Park, a free veterinary service for Sydney's homeless community.
Let's have a feel of these knees. When you actually manipulate, you can actually click his knee in and out of the groove. And when you click it out, he holds his leg up in the air. And then when we put it back in, he'll actually put it down again. And what that's called is a luxating patella. The patella is the kneecap. And what happens is it's supposed to sit in a little groove in their knee, and when the little kneecap slips out of the knee, not only does it hurt, but the knee becomes a little bit unstable. Thor's got a very common condition we see in little dogs. It's a difficult condition because sometimes it can cause quite serious debilitation. Often we need to operate, and we need to manage arthritis as well.
But surgery isn't an option for Ashley. However, with the help of the Pets in the Park program, Thor will receive injections to help manage any pain.
I just feel so much better. And to know he's going to be okay, it's a big relief.
Steve's next patient is Thor's brother, Dodge.
We might give these ears a clean. There is a bit of wax down there, and if that builds up too much, they can get a bit grotty and smelly. All right, sport. There you go, a little bit of liquid down there. We give it a bit of a massage just to work the wax and loosen the wax up a bit. All right, we'll give it a bit of a wipe over. There you go, sport. There's not too much wrong with Dodge, to be honest. He's as solid as a truck. And I think Ashley does a really good job of keeping Dodge in top nick, which is great. Yeah. What about me?
It's a relief for Ashley that her two best mates are healthy.
It gets a bit lonely out here, so to have a dog just makes it so much easier. They're your best friends. They're everything. And to have these guys doing that is just great. Thank you, guys. Thank you.
Very welcome.
Come on, guys.
Good luck with it.
Thank you.
Look, it's been great because we've been able to meet some people who care for their dogs as much as I care for mine. And it's nice to be able to help them out in a little way to help them give some health advice to help their dogs' lives to make it a little bit easier.
Good news, guys.
Oh, yay! Bra straps for everyone.
Well, funnily enough, not. Went for a more masculine option of trouser hooks.
Trouser hooks.
Yep. So, I'm ready to go.
Yep.
So we might get Donna set up for surgery and
Yep. Let's get her on the
going.
table.
Get going.
In Cairns, Chris is ready to begin surgery to repair Donna's shattered shell.
Can I get you to hold her there?
Yep.
If the shell isn't fixed, Donna runs the risk of developing a life-threatening infection.
The challenge we've got in repairing this shell is the fact that it's living tissue. It has a blood supply, so we're actually pulling some of it back just so we can get those ends of the crack together. Well, yeah, it's not easy, and it can be quite traumatic. The helpful thing here is that by putting a neck like that, it should show off a jugular vein. At the moment, because we're dealing with a creature we don't routinely see that has an injury that is quite rare, we're having to go to extraordinary lengths to come up with a solution.
Just stick your finger in his mouth just to see if he's asleep yet.
After you.
These jaws are incredibly powerful, so if I can avoid losing a finger, it'd be ideal. Sound. She's a real challenge. I mean, you're dealing with a patient that takes up to 10 minutes to fall asleep from her anaesthetic. And from there, she's still got the ability to chomp down. So we're having to be very careful, but also really plan out every move. Okay, let's get this in here.
Donna is finally anaesthetised, but suddenly there's a problem.
She was breathing every 4 seconds. It's starting to slow, and I'm probably going to have to start breathing for her now.
There's just a bit of concern at the moment because we're not seeing any signs of life out of her. These guys are renowned for not really giving too much away. Their pulse rate's incredibly low, respiratory rate's incredibly low under anaesthetic, but we can't get any sign of life out of her at the moment. She's gone from biting my finger to all of a sudden being incredibly deep, to the point where we can't see any breaths, we can't really get any sort of pulse rate, we can't hear a heartbeat.
You happy for me to give her a breath?
Yeah, give her. Oh. It's alive. It's bitten on the finger.
Oh, okay.
Being bitten on the finger by a turtle is normally something I dread, but I've never been happier for it to happen. Now it means I can finally get on with fixing Donna's shell.
You can see just how much that's overriding. This needs to shift all the way up there, but the problem is it's now not going back into place. So we have to take some of that off, and then hopefully the forces will relax, we can actually slide those two plates together. If you clean her up, I'll get started on this and we'll just move quickly.
Yeah.
The equipment we have to use is essentially equipment we normally use for orthopaedic surgery, where you are operating on bones, so it helps, but it still makes it very slow progress.
The whole point of cleaning these edges are all about making sure we minimise the chance of infection, but also we give ourselves the best chance of getting a strong bond.
We're still overriding quite a bit there, so I may just try to take a bit off the end here. So I've decided to take a bit more of a dramatic approach, because if I just continue to sand back that shell, we're just never going to get to the point where we're getting these ends of the shell to meet. But with these ronges, which are essentially bone cutters, we're able to really get to a good point where it's looking like the shell's starting to align. Okay. It's starting to look more like it.
Yeah, that looks good.
Really part of the battle here has been trying to get this crack back to really healthy tissue where there's nothing dead and there's nothing where it shouldn't be. So now I'm pretty happy we're in that place. So it's time to get some gloves on and get started.
Hi Susie, I'm Claire.
Hi, nice to meet you.
Come through, I've got a little cormorant to give you.
Oh, great,
Okay.
At SASH, it's time for Colin the cormorant to be taken into care with animal rescue group Wires.
We get a lot of calls at Wires for seabirds with fish hooks, but they are normally so hard to catch because they can normally still fly. Luckily, some people caught this one and it's been brought in and able to be saved.
Hello. Whoa, certainly a lot more energetic tonight. Just wrap up his wings there. Pop your little head out. Oh, isn't he beautiful? Okay, Susie, would you be able to just put a gentle hand on here, hold his wings down?
Certainly.
So I'm just looking for a little loose piece of skin at the top of his leg. That's perfect, Susie, thank you. Nice warm fluids with a little bit of glucose just to help him on his way. All done. What a good patient.
So I'm going to take the cormorant into care for a couple of days, see how it goes with feeding. As long as it's eating well, it can be safe to be released.
Great, so I'll hand him over to you now. He's in your care and hopefully he'll be back out in the wild pretty soon.
Yeah, it shouldn't be too long.
Great. It's not every day I get to see a cormorant, and Colin has just been the best little patient. I'm a little bit sad to see him go, but I'm really happy that he'll be back out in the wild soon.
I'll open it up and you can just have it.
In Cairns, surgery to fix Donna's shattered shell is underway.
The way we're actually going to attach these metal clips is kind of the same way as you attach braces to teeth. We'll form a resin that goes directly on and really bonds the shell to the metal of the clip. Weirdly getting flashbacks to when I had braces. They're not happy memories. Be really careful to leave what is the crack and essentially the open wound here very clear of anything, because that's living tissue, that has to heal. It's going to form a scab and then a scar. So we're going to run some wire between them all, but we're still dealing with some big forces that are going to try to pull this down. So what I'm thinking is, using an oversized paddle pop stick or a tongue depressor, we're going to glue that in place, and that's going to be a really supportive brace just to counteract those forces. Make sure we get the angle right here. The wood as a material is perfect because it has a little bit of give, and you want some flexibility just like the natural shell does. This has really become one of the most bizarre surgeries I've ever done.
With everything in place,
okay, that's a good start.
Chris can now start the final stage of the reconstruction.
So we're using a figure 8 pattern to balance out the forces and make sure that it's pulling in a really parallel way. So once the wire's in place, it's just a simple matter of twisting it to tighten it, and naturally will actually apply that tension across that wire. And it's that tension that's going that direction that's actually going to bring the shell back together.
After 90 minutes, Donna's surgery is finally finished.
All right. So looking at it, we've got a good supportive structure across the top here, but now between these clips, it's really bringing those edges back in together nicely. There's no overriding. Everything's looking like it's pointing in the right direction. All right. Think we can whack her up?
Yeah, looks great.
The nature of turtle shells means that this won't be a quick recovery. It's going to take weeks and months for that shell to get its strength back. But thankfully here, in this vet clinic, she's in safe hands. She just needs to learn to live a slower pace of life.
All right, so this is your temporary home. Once you're all healed up, you know what you can do? You can use those snapping jaws as much as you like.
The team here at Marlin Coast will look after Donna for the next few months, and then those clips will be removed, and then she'll go back to the wild.
Now, I've treated some difficult patients in some difficult locations, but this might just top all of those. The open ocean and a shark, but today could be life-saving.
Chris is in the Sydney suburb of Manly. He's meeting up with Dr. Rob Jones and a team of specialist divers from Sea Life Sanctuary.
All right, so we're just about ready to go.
They're about to attempt a groundbreaking grey nurse shark rescue mission.
Rob? Chris, how are you?
Good to see you. Obviously didn't get the memo about the dress code.
No, but this is how we dress to save sharks, basically.
No, this could be quite the day.
Oh, look, really hopeful. Like, this could be just wonderful. I mean, these sharks are critically endangered. We know there's one out there with a hook in it. Yep. We've just got to get out there, hope we can find it, get it up, get the hooks out.
Not going to be easy, though.
Not going to be easy, but...
I've got my gear, you got yours?
We're good to go.
Let's get out there.
Okay.
The aim of today's unusual rescue is to try and save a young female shark which could be in serious trouble.
These sharks are classified as being critically endangered. There's only around 1,500 maximum along the east coast of Australia. These sharks are quite young in this colony where we're going into today, so they're essentially the future of the entire species.
Recreational divers spotted the distressed shark entangled in fishing line and with a hook in its mouth at Magic Point, a few hundred metres offshore.
Now imagine these hooks, if they've been in there for a while, they're not going to be easy to get out.
No, some of them are pretty deeply embedded, and whether we'll be able to get the whole hook out or not, or just actually cut it off at the base of the jaw, we'll just have to wait and see.
Yeah, but we're on the clock, aren't we, once that shark comes out?
Once that shark hits the deck, 10 minutes is about the ceiling. I really don't like keeping them up for any longer than that.
Okay. But I guess the biggest challenge initially is first of all finding the shark.
Yep.
And then actually catching it, really.
Yeah, they're down in 16, 17 metres of water, so it's a pretty big task.
It will be a risky operation to try to save this injured and critically endangered grey nurse shark.
What we're trying to attempt today is essentially a world-first technique. I mean, we're going into a shark's habitat, trying to corral it, catch it, bring it to the surface and remove something that could ultimately threaten its life. So it's ambitious, it's risky, but we've got a good team today, so we're every chance.
What's happened here?
We just had this little guy brought in.
Wow, okay.
His mum was found on the side of the road.
Oh no.
The police found him in the pouch, so they've just brought him in to have a check.
A newborn swamp wallaby has been rushed into the Bondi Referral Hospital sash after a car killed his mother.
Geez, he's strong, isn't he?
Yeah. He's very young
he's
though.
very, very young. All right.
So little.
So little.
Yeah.
These are tiny neonatal animals and they are very fragile and they'll die fairly quickly. So the most critical things are to keep him warm, check him out for internal injuries or any structural injuries, and then get some nutrition into him. We just see if everything's working all right inside. Heart sounds good. He's got no blood around his mouth or his nostrils. He's nice pink colour, his gums are nice and pink. His legs are good. His tail looks pretty strong. His abdomen feels all right. He doesn't have any obvious bruising or anything. Yeah. Everything checks out pretty well.
Seems like a bit of a fighter.
He is. He's been very lucky, to be fair, because he could have been damaged in the road accident. He could have been there for a day or more and suffered from malnutrition and dehydration. And so, thankfully, he's in a fairly stable condition, so we can now transfer him to a carer who can feed him, keep him warm, and hopefully give him the start in life that has been taken away from him. Now we need to make sure he does not get cold because he has no hair on him. So let's get him into a heat warmer and he can get some nutrition, all right?
Yep.
We're in the middle of Sydney. We don't get a lot of joeys, but it's nice to see in the city that we still have this sort of wildlife around. And it's exciting and hopefully we can get a good result.
Oh, look at you. You're going to be such a big boy when you grow up. Okay, Mr. Joey, let's pop you in your bed. This can be your pouch that you will now live in. Good boy. All right, Mr. Joey, I'll get you some food organised now. You have a little sleep.
All right, this is the spot. It's called Magic Point. Trying to get the wetty on and get under there.
On Sydney Harbour, Chris is gearing up for an important rescue mission with a specialist team of divers. They're about to try to capture a critically endangered grey nurse shark, which has been spotted entangled in fishing wire and with a hook in its mouth.
There are a couple of really important stages in this whole process. First of all, I'm going to go down with the other team and try to find the shark that has the hook. The capture team is going to move in with what is essentially a large sock. On the base of the sock, there's a stretcher. If they can herd her into the sock, then they'll close it over top of her and bring it to the surface.
It's all systems go now, Chris.
It is.
Get down and bring up that shark.
In order to help this shark, first of all, we have to find her. So I'm heading down into the cave where she normally resides, and hopefully we'll spot her there.
But as soon as they get to the cave, there's a problem.
You look in there and there are 6 sharks looking back at you. And these sharks are all of a pretty similar size. So we have to try to find the shark that has the hook. It's going to be tricky.
While Chris and the team are trying to find their patient, on deck, Rob is making sure everything is prepared for the shark's arrival.
We really want to try and have the sharks on the deck for probably under 10 minutes. So we do want to move and work pretty quickly. The sooner we can get it back into its own environment, the better.
The team is struggling to find the injured shark when suddenly one of the divers spots fishing line coming out of a shark's gills.
Now that we have a confirmed sighting, the capture team is now going to move in and bring it to the surface.
They have to work fast while ensuring their patient doesn't become stressed.
It'll be showtime. Fire up this oxygen. Yep. Okay.
With the shark now on the surface, the pressure to find the hook is on, and it won't be easy.
This shark is a female. She's more than 1.5 metres long. She's at that age now where she's setting herself up for hopefully a long breeding future. But this fishing hook and this fishing line could prevent all of that.
Chris, you want to grab that pole? Just see.
I'm all too aware of the fact that we're on a strict time limit here. We only have 10 minutes with this shark out of the water. We've got to get moving.
The team can already see the fishing wire coming out of the gills. Now they have to find the hook.
Yeah, I can see some lines. Some line at the base of that tongue there. It's looking pretty deep, isn't it?
Yeah. So the hook's gone in.
Yeah.
It's swallowed it down so far.
Yeah.
But the hook has actually gone into its digestive system.
Yeah, it'll be down in the esophagus.
Okay.
Yeah. Well, we can't get the hook out, but it's too far down, and we don't have endoscope or anything like that, so we're just going to have to accept that that's what it is. Hope it's one of those hooks that will rust out.
Okay. Whilst we'd obviously love to be going inside her and removing that hook, it would only put her life in more danger. So really, we have to cut the line at the level of the gills and give her some antibiotics and multivitamins. With some time, that hook should corrode and actually pass through a system quite naturally. Needle coming out.
Right. Beautiful.
Coming up 8 minutes, Rob.
Thanks, Dave.
For this shark, really, we've done what we can. And given her body condition isn't too bad at the moment, she's a really good chance of mounting a really strong recovery. Now it's time to get back in the water.
Okay. Up and out. She's out of the water, so we need to move fast.
After all the mayhem of the last 9 minutes, she actually goes into the water quite gracefully. She's just gently caressed into the water and then swims off.
She's off. Very strong.
Yeah. And we managed to buy her some time.
She's going to have a much better chance now than she did half an hour ago.
Exactly.
No question at all.
Yeah.
Look, we're happy because this shark has now got a chance that it wouldn't have had before we did this today, and the whole procedure's gone smoothly. Everyone that we can get up, de-hook, has the potential to be a future breeding adult in this population. So pretty happy with the way it's gone.
Okay, Mr. Joey. Oh, you're sleeping. You look so cute.
At Sash, little orphan Joey is getting plenty of attention. But now he's well enough to be handed over to a specialist carer from the rescue group Wires.
Raising these little Joeys is hard work. They're like tiny little infants, like baby humans, baby horses, baby Joey, kangaroos. They all take round-the-clock care, so they're a lot of work, and you need to be very dedicated and experienced to do it. Come on in, Maureen. Let me introduce you to little Joey.
Oh, wow.
So he's been christened. He's pretty feisty, Maureen, and he looks pretty well as far as I can work out. He just needs some good nursing care, I think, and obviously being how young he is, I think he's going to be a handful for you.
Yep. Yeah, he's very lucky that he was found. Not many people will stop for dead animals, and they don't stop and check pouches either.
There you go, little mite, you get in there. Got a new mum now. Maureen's going to take care of you. That's great.
The little orphan will be fed 6 times a day and eventually, when he's strong enough, be released back into the wild.
And that's what the ultimate aim is, to get Joey healthy enough that he can look after himself, fend for himself, and be released hopefully into a national park somewhere close by to what his territory was originally, or his mother's territory was. That's the critical thing.
Okay.
All right, Joey, good luck, little mate.
Thanks, Steve.
Hope all goes well.
Okay.
Good luck,
you.
Maureen.
Bye-bye. Okay, we'll settle you in and we'll get you home and give you a feed. I love caring for Joey's. It's very satisfying. The next step is I'll take him home, keep him warm, and then feed him 24/7 till he's ready to be released.
I wouldn't do that, Cricket.
In Bondi, 5-month-old Cricket has well and truly settled in to her new life with Chris.
There's definitely something going on. Cricket is obviously the kitten that I adopted a few months ago after she was found in a park, in a box.
Good Samaritans brought the little orphan into the clinic.
See, she's not very happy putting that left
she's not.
front leg down.
And X-rays revealed the tiny battler had a badly broken leg and needed urgent surgery.
All right, I'm done there.
She's had quite an interesting few months with me. She's understood the meaning of destroying furniture, keeping me up late at night, waking me up early in the morning. But now there is a new twist in the story of Cricket. I feared this day would come, but I didn't think it would happen this early. She's only just turned 5 months old, and this purring, and this calling, and this bum in the air thing can only mean one thing's going on.
Cricket is on heat. And Chris isn't the only male to notice Cricket's change in behaviour.
Exactly how many guys have you invited around? This is kind of every dad's worst nightmare. Their little girl has grown up and there are hundreds of men hoping to get their little mitts on her. Oh, you're looking outside, are you? Yeah, you know why? Because you attracted him. She's in season and she's not scared to let people know about it. I'm obviously a big believer in desexing cats. The last thing we need are more unwanted kittens. I'm just surprised she's come on heat this quickly. There's only one thing to do. She's coming to work with me tomorrow and we're going to sort this whole thing out. This girl has grown up just a little bit too quickly. Tomorrow you're coming with me. And he's going to be disappointed. Cool. Don't get in the way of a young girl and her plans. Remember this place?
Next day, Cricket has the first appointment booked in at the Bondi Clinic.
Oh, hello. It's Cricket.
Today is the very necessary next step in the saga of Cricket. Clearly, when she's on heat, we need to do something about it because when bad girls stay bad, eventually their past catches up with them. She's just started to get a little, Yeah, I know. A little bit, I've kind of lured her in here on the belief that since it's a couple of months since the operation, it's time to check how her legs are healed.
Okay.
And if that pin is nice and stable. Cricket had a bad fracture that required a pin to essentially hold the bones in place. That pin's now been in there for a couple of months. So there is an opportunity today to potentially remove that pin if the pin has loosened or if the pin is just no longer necessary.
They're the same length, are they? Yeah, pretty much.
She's got a full range of movement there.
Yeah.
So I just think probably the best thing for her is to take an X-ray. Cricket's certainly had a good recovery and a good rehabilitation, but she's still been a kitten and she's still been jumping all over the place and all over me. So there is some concern about how quickly and how properly her bones have healed.
The X-ray will show the metal pin in Cricket's leg and whether it has stayed in the correct position.
Yep, go. Pin actually looks all right. It kind of looks like a normal humerus with a pin inside it now. Yeah. The X-ray is showing two really interesting things. First of all, the bone itself has healed up brilliantly. You would not even know there was once a serious fracture there. But secondly, the pin is not an issue. It's sitting well inside the bone. In fact, the bone's grown up and over the top of it. So it doesn't need to be removed today. Look how cranky you are. What is it? It's almost like she knows what's coming next.
Well, they do have that extra sense, don't they?
While the X-ray shows she doesn't need one operation, there is no dodging the desexing today. That is going to happen, and I'm going to make sure of it.
Oh, you're a daddy's little girl, really, aren't you? Hey?
Daddy's trying to be strong, so
let's get on with it.
Hold the sympathy for half an hour.
I love you too, mate. Hold on, not long now.
At the Australian Reptile Park, General Manager Tim Faulkner also has his hands full with a little orphan Joey.
You ready for another Mothers Club meeting? Here's your bottle.
Cheers.
How's he going?
Yeah, he's good, eh? Still real sooky, right?
Yeah. Tim and Senior Park Keeper Bill have started a daily mothers group.
No tongue.
After becoming full-time carers to two orphan Joeys.
You ready for some milk? There you go. Caring for orphan animals, and in this case, marsupials, kangaroos, 24-hour job. It doesn't stop. 6 feeds a day. In between, then you've got a toilet, clean up after. They're awake through the night. But a big part of that is giving them their bottles, their nourishment. He's a happy little roo. Is that his belly?
Yeah. He's shaking his
He's
prawns.
chugging it.
9-month-old Reggie and 6-month-old Russell both lost their mums due to horrific circumstances. Without round-the-clock care, these little Joeys would have no chance of survival.
You've done a good job, mate, because he was a tough gig. Orphaned at such an old age, you used to get him much smaller. I can't believe you've turned him around to be your mate.
Yeah, he's your best mate, aren't you, mate?
In the wild, Joeys rely on milk from their mother for at least 12 months. Tim and Bill will need to keep feeding these babies until they're old enough to fend for themselves.
That's it, it's all gone. You want to come for a hop with Reggie? I know you're not going to like that, but it's time. Yeah. You're a good little fella. Come on, let's go for a hop. Red kangaroos are social. The way that we need to develop their skills, it even makes their body physically stronger, is to get them out into our park area. There you go, mate. There are other kangaroos that are adults, there are hazards, and there's, of course, people. But all of that teaches them and develops them to be independent roos. Do you want to have a pat? There you go. Yep. Do you know what sort of animal he is?
Kangaroo.
Yep. And do you know what sort of kangaroo? I'll give you a hint. See the colour there behind his ear? What is it?
A desert kangaroo.
A desert kangaroo or a red kangaroo, that's right.
It's a big day for Russell,
Who wants to see
as
him
it's his
hop?
first time being surrounded by a crowd.
Ready? Now you have to say, go Russell! Go on!
But Tim knows it's an important step for the little Joey to gain his independence.
They're great, as in little ambassadors. And we... He's cheeky. There's kids everywhere, and Russell's actually startling them. Not the other way, but he's getting used to the whole thing, and he's having a ball. You got him.
The budding little ambassadors are a big hit with park visitors. But now it's time for their all-important daily weigh-in.
Come on, mate. This way. I'm not coming back to pick you up. Come on, pal. That's a boy. Let's go. Let's go.
This is your last chance, miss. Okay, Chris is lovely as your dad, but he's way too young to be a granddad, you know?
Thank you, Neil. Good to see you on my side.
At the Bondi Clinic, Chris's parenting skills are being put to the test. 5-month-old Cricket is on heat, so Chris has brought her in to be desexed.
Going over and out. Lick your lips, yep. That's pretty good.
I guess the challenge here is not overcomplicating this surgery. It is very much a routine operation. It's a spay. It's an operation I've done thousands of times before, but somehow today it's different. And it's different because it's Cricket. She's my pet. So I found a uterus here, and certainly it's looking a little bit more inflamed, I guess, than it normally would be. They're the ovaries of a little kitten that's been on heat. You can see that they've got extra fluid in them, and they're really looking like they're busy. It's all grown up. What's that?
That can't be the ovary there, surely.
No, it's not, because the ovary's further up here.
It's a bit strange.
Looks like she's developed a fluid-filled lump just in the wall of her uterus. There is a chance that she's actually been able to feel this. It's not something she's been, I guess, able to communicate to me, and certainly she hasn't looked like she's been in pain at any stage, but to have a big cyst in the wall of the uterus, it's abnormal. In an animal so young, it's highly abnormal. But the fortunate thing is that today I can actually remove it. We may, through preventing an unwanted pregnancy, have actually prevented another disease from occurring, so that's a nice thing. Okay.
All done.
There's the other half of the uterus there. Yep. So I'm happy with how that's looking. I'll just release it to make sure that bleeding's stopped, which it has. All right, we can start closing up.
Okay.
Thankfully, what should have been a routine operation was just that. Everything's run smoothly. We obviously discovered the cyst in there, which was quite remarkable, but that's been removed. You waking up? Okay, come on. You ready to look at me? Not yet. Understand. So now, it's full steam ahead to what should be a normal life. Well, normal, apart from the fact she lives with me. Good luck with that. And just sleep it off.
Later that day, Chris has been called out to Double Bay near Bondi after an SOS from a concerned resident.
You know, Richard, eh?
Richard, yeah, and
hey,
Joey.
Hey, Joey.
Yeah, hi.
Good to see you. Yeah, I spoke to you on the phone there.
Yeah, a couple of locals.
Yeah.
And one of them, you can see, his name's Cassidy. Something wrong with his foot. I think we've noticed that it's probably up in its body.
How long have you noticed it limping for?
2 days. 2 days, yeah. I was sitting in the library, yes, and looking out the window and noticed these 2 ducks down on the lawn. Ushered Joey over and then noticed one moving of a distinct limp. So we thought we'd give you guys a call. Dr. Chris Brown, the Bondi Vet.
So what, everyone feeds these ducks here?
I think so, yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, they're part of
They're part of the local gang.
Even though I've been called out to help out a duck in trouble, when I first arrived, it looks like the opposite. These ducks are not in trouble, they are living the life. It is sort of this safe haven here with no dogs, but at the same time, at night,
yes,
when there's no one around, it's very easy for a dog to get in here, or even a cat or a fox. So, I mean, for them and for that particular duck, they're on the clock in a way because they have to be able to run away or fly away.
Yes.
Otherwise, rather than eating, they become the one eaten.
Ooh.
Do you just want to throw a little bit just here and we'll see if we can get quite close and have a closer look at that leg. Hey, look at this. Look at that. From about a metre away, I can see that Cassidy is definitely holding that leg in a different way. It's up on its toes. And he does that essentially to move the weight away from the problem areas. Working out exactly where those problem areas are, it's my challenge. What do you notice about where he is right now? He's always staying an arm's length away.
Yes, he is.
And they're not stupid, they're great survivors, these guys.
Yeah.
And he knows he's fragile, he knows that he's vulnerable right now, and so he's not willing to risk anything happening to him. But we're gonna have to catch him.
Yeah. And is there a technique?
You're potentially about to see a whole lot of them. The technique is you do a lot of this. And that's about it.
Yeah.
Righto. I'll take notes. You want to weigh?
I'll weigh. Just want to grab that diary.
At the Australian Reptile Park, it's weigh-in time for orphan Joey's Russell and Reggie.
Let's do Reggie first.
Tim and Bill have recently become surrogate mothers to the Joeys.
All right.
It's a full-time job as these little bundles need round-the-clock care.
Joeys at Russell and Reggie's age are still totally dependent on mum. This is a full-on job. The only thing that gets more full-on is 2 Joeys at once. 6.7.
Yeah, awesome. That's 100 grams up, eh?
Yeah, that's great. All right, so 6.7 plus 100, you say?
Yeah.
Any discharge? What we do is take a weight, which is a really easy observation on general health. Did they put on weight or lose weight? And as well as that, we check for simple things like any signs of discharge, hydration, and just the general well-being of the Joeys. Ears are great. Eyes are good. I'm sorry, Reg. Don't get cranky, buddy. OK, so that's good. You want to just check his hydration, Bill?
Yeah, we're good.
Good as gold?
Yeah.
My favourite question of the day. How was he last night?
Do you want a short answer or a long answer?
Short answer for now.
Well, he had a party all night long, so he's very worn out.
Yeah, so he's happy?
He's happy.
I put Reggie happy, Billy not so happy. Bill and I love Reggie and Russell equally, but I do give him a bit of a hard time because Reggie was a bit older when he was orphaned. Now, that means he's a bit of a handful. He gives Bill a bit of stick. By stick, keeps him up all night, sometimes won't take his bottle, put him on the ground, he takes off. Russell is an angel. Yeah, 5.2. He's up 50. Just, that's not bad.
Yeah, nice.
That's all the milk he's getting, mate. He won't touch the solids. No surprises, the Joeys look great. Clean bill of health in all areas. You need to start on the solids, mate. Ears good, eyes good. I'll just check hydration while we're there. Forward, buddy.
With both Joeys given a clean bill of health, it's now home time, and that means Tim and Bill are heading off and taking the little Joeys with them.
Come on, Reg. That's it. Hold up, buddy. You better grab him, mate. Gee, you've got him well trained, Bill. Good boy, Russ.
I have the food.
Yeah, you're going to have
I have the enticement.
Yep.
Yes.
At Double Bay, Chris urgently needs to catch and treat Cassidy, the limping duck, before he becomes an easy meal for the neighbourhood cats and dogs.
Yeah, so at the moment, they're just resting underneath the tree, but the eyes are definitely on us.
Right. Yeah.
They're going to be suspicious.
Yes.
But they've never seen a net before.
Right.
And that's going to work to our advantage here.
Right.
OK, so what you need to do is get up there and be their best friend. We're going in with a simple strategy. Ideally, Richard will come in with the food first, distract them. They'll be so concerned about getting the food before the other one gets it. Then I can come around the back and grab Cassidy with the net.
Cassidy, Cassidy, Cassidy. You're sticking together.
You get the feeling they know what's going on? The closer I get to Cassidy, the further away he gets. He knows right now that he's vulnerable.
Come on, hop along.
See what I mean?
It does fly.
We've hit our first major hurdle. Catching any sort of wildlife is never straightforward, and you have to really learn from each failed attempt and put, I guess, the improved version into the next attempt. Just see something. Wind's blowing that way, so he's going to take off into the wind.
Yeah.
Right. So if we herd him with the wind,
yes,
then he can't take off.
Right.
He's going to have to turn around and run at us to actually get off the ground.
Okay.
The thing you have to remember is that birds always take off into the wind. If we do everything now from the wind side and work upwind, then essentially he shouldn't be able to take off. Just come up a bit closer there, Joey. You need to stop them from getting over that side.
Cassidy, come on. Come on, hop along.
There we go.
Well done.
Hey, it's okay. It's okay. Okay. Now I've finally captured Cassidy. It's a matter of working out what's going on here. So everything's fine in there. No sign of any parasites. The gum colour's nice and pink. Yeah. Tongue's a good colour too, so I'm confident everything's fine there. These feet, though, are intriguing. When I look at the right leg, the good leg, it's interesting and unexpected because he actually has some quite serious sores on the webbing of that foot. He's actually got infections in the base of this other foot. So whether he's actually taken the weight on this foot and the problem's actually been in this foot all along, which would be quite strange, but To be honest, right now, I'm confused and totally baffled because we knew he had one sore leg, but now, does he have two? Hey, mate. Hey, it's all right.
Hello, boys.
Tim has arrived home from the Australian Reptile Park with little orphan Joey Russell. And it's time for all the youngsters to have some fun.
Hey, baby, how are you?
Good, how are you?
Good.
Hello.
Come on. Hey, watch out for the little fella. Come on. What do you want to do? Let him have a hop? Come on.
Anything that you can possibly think of Australian animals, we've had it at home. Feather-tailed gliders, sugar gliders, koalas, kangaroos, wombats, Tassie devils and birds. Anything Australian, it's been here.
Whoa! Here he comes!
Hello!
Come here, Russ.
He'll bite you.
The boys are always a bit scary in the afternoons for him. He's had a nice quiet day. Come on, who wants to come and give his belly a tickle, please? You know, I never forget how lucky I am to be able to bring my kids up with wildlife. Being around it teaches them compassion, empathy, understanding, and they're better for it. Russell! Oh, Mama, we might need a towel.
But today, Russell isn't setting a very good example for Tim's boys.
He did a wee on the bench. Oh, no. Oh, Russell. Well, we may as well let him finish now, hey?
Oh yes, there's always a constant mess when the boys are around, especially with the animals that Tim brings home. He doesn't like to clean up after them at all. So that's my job.
Close your eyes.
But Tim's definitely in charge when it comes to bedtime.
I love you. Close your eyes.
Love you too, Moochie Boochie.
Can we leave Russell on the door? Russell will be with us for at least the next few months, but then he'll stay at work and we get a bit of relief. Here we go. Night, boys.
Night, Russell.
When he goes, I think the boys will miss him a lot. What I won't miss is the round-the-clock feeds. Love you, boys. I bet he'll be up through the middle of the night, but whether he is or he isn't doesn't matter, because tomorrow, back into it again.
He's actually got infections in the base of this other foot.
All right, yeah.
Which would be quite strange, but...
In Double Bay near Bondi, Chris is trying to work out what's wrong with a native duck called Cassidy.
So that's actually called bumblefoot, so they're foot infections. Right. Deep infections in the skin of his foot, and that's really dangerous.
Locals Richard and Joey first noticed Cassidy's severe limp 2 days ago.
So he's ripped it open in a sense with too much abrasion
and bacteria have got in there now. Okay. This is completely unexpected. Remember, this is the good leg, yet he's got quite a serious problem on it. This now complicates the situation. Have a look on the other side. So watch when I bend that up. Now I'm pushing quite hard.
Yeah.
But still,
it doesn't touch.
It's 20 degrees, 30 degrees away from his foot touching his thigh.
Yeah.
Compared to this one, which with no effort at all, goes the whole way up.
Oh, you're a brave duck.
So Cassidy has a foot infection on his right foot and an ankle problem on his left leg. 2 problems, but I reckon there's one cause. Now, there's one thing that causes swelling like that and a lack of mobility in the ankles of ducks.
Right.
And it's something we normally see in older men that maybe drink a bit of beer.
Gout.
It's gout.
Oh my word.
You got gout, sport.
Oh no.
Speak to anyone that has gout and they say it is absolute agony. It's essentially a metabolic abnormality that affects people, it affects all sorts of animals, and it certainly affects ducks. What's happening is each time Cassidy eats food that contains protein and nitrogen, he tries to break that down, but he doesn't do it properly. As a result of his metabolic abnormality, he produces crystals. Those crystals are lodging in his ankle.
And Chris doesn't have to look far to find the cause.
See that right there? That's not a normal neck. That's actually a collection of all the food he's eaten in the last hour or so. And that is about that big. I mean, that's an entire day's worth of food for him, but he's eaten that in the last hour, just going around hassling people for food. Because Cassidy is such a guts, he's filling his body with all sorts of human food that contains protein that a duck normally doesn't have to break down. His body's struggling with it, so it makes sense that he's having so much trouble walking around on that left ankle of his.
Bless him.
I saw someone trying to feed him sushi before.
Yeah.
And for him to break down proteins which he normally doesn't eat, it causes him to produce all these extra waste products which produce the crystals which lodge in his joints. So in a way, he's a victim of his lifestyle.
A modern diet.
To fix Scout, what you need to do is give Cassidy a tablet which helps to metabolise that protein and get rid of those waste products safely. So he's going to get two things. Something for the gout and an antibiotic for his foot. Cassidy is a cute little guy, but the fact is, with the diet that he has right now, he's not going to stay around for too much longer. So if we can change that, give him his medication, then hopefully Hopalong Cassidy will be Hopalong no more.
Well done, you.
Good Hopalong.
Cassidy will need medication for another month, so Chris is enlisting the help of Joey and Richard to give him his tablets and keep an eye on his diet.
Here you go, little guy. You go and see her. Off you go. Here you go.
We can save Cassidy, I'm sure we can. I'm more than 100% sure. He needs to cut down on the rubbish tucker, and with Joey's and our involvement, Cassidy will be fine.
It's almost all over to you guys now.
Yeah. We'll monitor Cassidy and look after him and give him his tablets.
So, today is the start of the rest of his life.
Excellent.
I'll be in touch though.
Okay, all right.
Good luck. Any problems, let me know.
Okay, all right.
Thank you.
Thanks.
A lot of people complain about cats needing exercise, but for you, it's never really a problem, is it?
In Bondi, it's been 2 weeks since little Cricket was de-sexed.
Always that little bit too far away, right?
But Chris's cheeky housemate isn't taking any time to rest and recuperate.
Normally an operation like desexing will slow a cat down for quite a few days, maybe even a week or so. For Cricket, not so much. In fact, if anything, over the last few weeks, she's kind of stepped it up a notch. Now you're growing up, we should really think about school. But what if the teacher gets out a laser pointer? Is this going to happen? Instead of chasing male cats, she now chases lasers and balls all day in, day out. I always knew that Cricket was a bit different. It's kind of the reason why I adopted her in the first place. I never really realised just how different she'd be. A lot of people think cats are independent. Cricket is not one of those cats. She's needy. That's what I mean. Just always has to be there. Centre of attention. We're going to have an interesting life together. How you doing?
Hey, good. How are you?
Isn't it?
Yeah, Alex.
Chris, how are you?
Nice to meet you.
Come on through, mate.
Chris is in Cairns helping out at the Marlin Coast Veterinary Hospital, and today his first patient is an unusual one.
What is in the bag?
It's a bit of a special lizard, a bit of a surprise for you. They're quite an endangered species, and we're part of a breeding program for them here at Cairns Tropical Zoo.
Okay.
Well, I heard that Chris was in town, so I brought in something a little bit different, a little bit rare, so I think Chris will be quite excited to see it.
Wow.
So this little guy here is a Fijian crested iguana.
Yeah. I've been to Fiji a lot of times, and these guys, I know they're in a lot of trouble, aren't they?
They are, yeah. Their population is quite low. They've only found on a couple of islands around the Fijian archipelago.
Yeah.
This little iguana has been named Aku after a Fijian sporting star.
So what's what you're worried about him?
Well, his appetite's gone down and he just hasn't been himself lately.
So just not as energetic?
Basically, yeah, not as energetic. Hasn't been eating as much as he normally would, and nowhere near as active as normal.
It's a tricky one. Can I just get your hole in there? I'm just going to get my stethoscope. Fijian crested iguanas are one of the rarest creatures in the world, so you have to make sure that each and every one of them is healthy and hopefully able to breed.
But right now, the thing that's caused this guy to be off colour is a complete mystery. It all sounds fine. Both heart and lungs, all normal. Look, the fact that he's not eating like he should makes you think that it's got something to do with his digestive system. So, you know, if we can really focus our search around his abdomen here, the thing is, he feels a bit tense. You know, if anything, when I do push in there, he takes a little gulp and then all of a sudden he isn't so active. So there's some discomfort coming in here. And certainly he's what we call guarding. He's really trying to protect that belly of his. He hasn't changed his diet at all?
No.
I'm at a bit of a loss to explain why he's showing the signs he is. I think probably the best thing to do right now is take an x-ray.
Okay.
If we do that, we'll get a good look, I guess, you know, inside that abdomen of his and just see if anything's bubbling away there.
He's a cool iguana. I've been working with him for probably the last, coming up to 8 years now. So I guess grown up with him a little bit and got a bit of an attachment to him. So it's concerning to hear there could be something wrong going on in his abdomen. So hopefully we can get to the bottom of it pretty quickly.
Anna and Paul have made a 600-kilometre journey to Sash with their beloved pup, Teao.
Easy, hun. Oh.
The 13-week-old is in excruciating pain after a play fight with another pup went horribly wrong.
We think he took a tumble trying to walk. He was screaming. Just wouldn't stop screaming every time he moved. He was just screaming. I'm really worried that it's something that could ultimately end his life. Yeah, so... Oh, baby.
Hello.
Hello.
I'm Lisa. I'm one of the emergency vets.
Hi.
How are you?
Well, thank you.
Who have we got over here?
This is Teao.
Okay. And what's happened?
He was playing and we think something happened. We think he rolled over and then seemed to be unable to walk without screaming.
Okay.
Just constant screaming. We're not talking, oh, we're talking, oh, scream.
And he's been a healthy puppy?
Yes.
So he's never had a problem before this came on really suddenly?
Suddenly.
And he just looks pretty miserable there, doesn't he?
He's very unhappy.
Well, what I'm going to need to do is see him walking around.
Okay.
If you don't mind popping him down on the ground so I can just see what his movement is like.
He's in a lot of pain, and something like this has to be caused by something pretty serious. I can't exclude trauma as a possible cause. So he could have an injury to his spine or his spinal cord or even the muscles around the neck. But what I really need to work out is, has he got something else underlying and this was just a coincidence? He's wagging his tail, that's a good thing, and he's actually got the ability to walk. All right, honey. All right. Okay, let's pop him up on the table and I'll take a better look at him. It's so difficult for me to see Teao in so much pain that I can't even imagine how hard it is for his owners to see him like this. He's like their child, and screaming in agony has got to be really traumatic for them as well.
Poor boy.
Lisa is hoping a full health check will help determine the cause of Teao's pain.
It's really important with a young dog to make sure that he hasn't got a fever as well as this, because it could be something pretty serious if that's the case. All right, his temperature's normal. Okay. He's really sore. It's just like, I don't know where to touch him, where the pain's actually coming from.
Initially, you couldn't touch him anywhere. It was like it was coming from everywhere.
Even though I know Teao is in agony, in order to try and work out what's going on, I'm going to actually have to try and touch the areas where it's sore, and this is really going to hurt.
All right, sweetie.
Watching their young pup in pain proves all too much for Anna and Paul.
I need to be able to fix him. I have to fix him. I can't not fix him. It's not an option. We have to fix him. I can't imagine not fixing him. It's too much dog.
He just cannot take his eyes off me. It's kind of mutual.
At the Marlin Coast Veterinary Hospital, Chris is trying to work out what's wrong with Aku, an unwell Fijian iguana.
It's hard not to be just a bit mesmerised by the sight of him. I mean, these are one of the rarest and most endangered iguanas or lizards, really, anywhere in the world.
Chris is x-raying Aku to try to work out why the extremely rare iguana has suddenly lost his appetite.
All right, what's that? X-ray. Wow, that's not what I expected. This isn't a digestive problem at all. This is something completely different. I take one look at Aku's x-rays and straight away the weight lifts off the shoulders. It's there in plain sight. Aku has a bladder stone and a large one. But now comes a bigger concern. How do we get it out? That would hurt. There are a couple of ways that you can get a bladder stone. Certainly it can be a metabolic thing where you actually produce too many minerals and it starts to form a crystal, and a really big one at that. Or it can be a dietary thing, or it can be the result of infection. But the reasons why don't really matter so much right now, do they? No. So that's got to go.
Aku's keeper Alex is anxiously waiting for news.
My concern is with Aku, they are an endangered species. There's not too many of them left, so each one is very precious to us.
All right.
How do we go?
I've got some news that you're probably not going to expect. He's actually got a massive bladder stone.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Yeah, right.
So, I mean, I've never seen one of these before in an iguana. I mean, it is, we're talking, that large.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
So, that would be the reason why he's been a bit off. He's carrying around probably about 30 grams of stone in his belly.
Yeah, right.
When I tell Alex, his face is one of slight confusion because he's not really sure whether he should be relieved or concerned. It's good news that it's not cancer, but at the same time, it's a worry, the fact that now Aku is facing major surgery.
So what's the next step, I guess?
You can try to dissolve these stones, but it will take many months. I don't think that's really fair on him to put up with the stone for all that time.
Yep.
The best thing to do would be to operate. Actually go in there surgically and remove that stone.
Okay.
So that's all right with you. We can do that today for you.
That'd be great. Yeah, I think the sooner it's done, the better, really, isn't it?
When you have bladder stones this large, you're talking about quite significant pain and usually quite significant infections as well. So for those reasons, I don't really want to delay on this. It's important we get Aku into surgery straight away. Okay, well, man, you come with me.
Sweetie, okay. All right, darling. It's every time you move, isn't it?
It's heart-wrenching.
All right, honey.
At Sash, 13-week-old Teao is in excruciating pain.
All right, sweetie.
Anna and Paul have travelled more than 600 kilometres to find out exactly what's wrong with their beloved pup.
We just wanted him to stop crying. That's all, just stop crying, please. That's the hardest thing, to have to listen to him cry.
All right, his tummy's not painful. It's certainly not coming from there. Okay. Yep, that's where it's coming from. It really seems to be his neck and his shoulder area. It's really just localising to this area up here. The rest of his back seems okay. Fortunately, his nerves seem to be functioning normally. His temperature's normal and the rest of his vital signs are all normal, but he's in a lot of pain, as you can see. What could he have done? I mean, it could just be muscular. He could also have a problem that he was born with, so some sort of a structural problem with his spine. But more seriously is if he's done something to the
bones in his spine or even the nerves there, and that can certainly also cause pain like this. Depending on what he's done, sometimes surgery is needed and sometimes it's not. So I'm not going to ignore the fact that the playing could be a trauma, but he could also have a serious illness like meningitis going on, which could cause pain like this.
If it's meningitis, I don't know what I'll do. If it's a spinal injury, I don't even want to think about it.
The next step would be to image the area. Because he's in so much pain, I think doing a CT scan would give us our best information. It will allow us to look at the bones of his neck and shoulder area. While we're doing that, we can also get a sample of his spinal fluid. So it's like a lumbar puncture, and that will allow us to work out whether he's got meningitis or not. So we're getting a lot of information by doing this CT scan.
For Paul and Anna, it will be a long, anxious wait for answers.
There's a bit of panic, there's a bit of stress that we can't fix him. If I can't fix him, we can't replace him.
Lights are on.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Come on, little one.
So we'll try for the tail wound here.
Yep.
In Cairns, Chris is starting surgery to remove a massive bladder stone from little iguana Aku.
Feeling really sleepy now.
I'm about to operate on one of the rarest animals in the world. An animal that is notoriously difficult under anaesthetic, an animal that is quite old, and an animal that has quite a significant medical problem. Yeah, you can understand why, right now, I'm a bit concerned. The plan really is to cut down through the skin, through the abdominal wall, and my thinking is straight after that, I should find what I'm looking for. Alright, I'm now pretty happy with this opening incision. This isn't a situation where I have to go searching for what I'm looking for because it's right there. That bladder stone is just dominating Aku's abdomen there. If there's any doubt as to whether that's it or not, that settles it. It's not called a bladder stone for nothing. It is rock hard and it is made of one big lump of crystal. It's heavy and you just know it'll hurt like hell. For all those reasons, this lump has to come out now. So believe it or not, that is the bladder, but the bladder is totally full. Full to the brim with rock. It's just all bladder stone.
The challenge now is to get the stone out safely.
So my hope is I can actually pull this bladder out and get it on the outside of the body. And maybe a dream. It's not really playing ball.
Oh, doll. Good kitty.
And this one, look at you.
It's a hectic day at Sash, and it's just got busier with some unexpected arrivals.
Guys, what have we got here?
We've got 7 little kittens.
Oh,
They've
my
been
Lord.
found abandoned in a box.
Oh dear, okay. Let's give them all a bit of a check over.
Yeah.
Who's volunteering?
I think this one
We'll
is.
go that one, okay.
Come on, little one.
All right, Bubba. There we go. What do we got here?
The little kittens were dumped with no food or water, and Dr. Steve Ferret needs to do urgent health checks.
We don't know how long they've been out there. We don't know what sort of condition they're in, so we just want to make sure that they're all okay.
So we're just checking the eyes for any redness or any conjunctivitis, I guess. We're making sure that there's no sort of snotty or watery discharge coming out of the nose or that they're not sneezing. A lot of those signs can suggest that maybe they have come in contact with a bit of cat flu. Okay, so that's the last one done. So he seems pretty happy and healthy.
The next important step for these tough little survivors is an essential flea treatment.
We'll just give you a good wipe down. Even though it looks like they don't have any fleas, sometimes they can hide away in their coat. So we treat them with this medication just to make sure that it's not going to cause any problems for them. Okay, so that's the last one done. Let's get these guys out the back. We'll give them their little worming dose in their dinner tonight, and then we'll go about trying to find them some new homes.
All right, let's go.
I am surprised that these guys are in such a healthy condition, which makes me think they weren't out in the elements for too long. The person that did bring them in, we owe a lot of thanks to.
Yeah, someone's tired.
We'll keep these guys here for a couple of days more just to make sure that they stay fit and healthy. Then we have a couple of our nurses that work here that are involved in kitten rescue and adoption, so we'll leave it in their hands to make sure they end up in good family homes.
Okay, so we're into the bladder now. So with any luck, if I can get these in the right place, we might just have some action here.
In Cairns, Chris is trying to remove a massive stone from the bladder of a Fijian iguana called Aku.
It is egg-shaped, so I'm just trying to roll it over so I get the narrowest part. Try to squeeze it out. There it is. One big stone. Massive. Extraordinary. Living with that just had to be a nightmare. It's essentially made of minerals like calcium and phosphorus and magnesium, and they all bond together and form this rock.
You can't imagine the pain and discomfort that Aku has been experiencing up until this point. If Alex hadn't picked up on those subtle signs that Aku was showing, then his life would have continued to be absolute torture.
Alright, let's give this a big flush. The worry we have is that because that bladder has been opened, and we know that bladder is full of bacteria because it's had the big stone in it, the concern is we can now spread that bacteria into Aku's abdominal cavity.
Any more?
No, that's good to start with.
Now Chris can start stitching up Aku's bladder.
This is really, really finicky. Everything is now shrunk down to that stone's gone, so it's absolutely microsurgery. That's the bladder now. I'm happy with how that's looking.
Finally, Chris can close up the wound.
This is just some antibiotics and just provide a bit of an extra barrier to any infection taking hold. Okay, my Fijian friend is done, so it's time to wake him up. Crystal, he's the same iguana, isn't he?
Yes.
He looks very different. Changed colour, buddy. What was that all about? What he's done is, because he's been on his back and under anaesthetic and getting cold, he's decided that if he darkens himself up, makes himself black, then he absorbs more heat. It's just one of those incredible adaptations these guys have. Okay, buddy. You ready? There we go. Oh, no, you can't leave yet. No. No, you really can't. I know you think you're ready, and I appreciate that, but you're not. So let's just take it slow.
You would never know that this little guy has just experienced major abdominal surgery. He's up, ready, and keen to get moving. It is unbelievable.
You are fiery, aren't you? Alex is going to be here soon, so if you put on this sort of display, you'll be very impressed. But for now, just rest, huh? are you?
Not too bad. How did you go?
Good. Yeah, it's been quite a day for everyone. But he, look, he's just taken the no-frills approach to it. He's unmoved, but you can see that's where we went in.
Oh, yep.
Just in there.
3 hours later, it's time for Aku to go home.
He should recover pretty quickly. That area tends to heal up beautifully.
Okay,
so
awesome.
After a few days, you should start to see that appetite of his returning. He should be a lot brighter than he was before.
Yeah, great.
He doesn't have that big rock sitting.
Be a lot more comfortable for him.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. Okay, but look, he's bounced back incredibly well after the anaesthetic.
Yeah, awesome. Couldn't have gone any better then.
Yeah.
It's great to hear that the surgery went well and the bladder stone was removed successfully, and who knows, maybe he might be interested in breeding now because he is an endangered species, so each and every one of them is very important.
Let us know how he goes, mate.
Yeah, will do.
If he starts fathering some, we should know about it.
Yeah, thanks so much.
Okay, no worries, buddy. I'll put him back in here.
It's a special day when, as a vet, you get to treat an animal that hopefully is one of the cornerstones of preserving an entire species. But today has been that day. Aku had a unique problem, but thankfully a problem we're able to fix. And hopefully now, the rest of his life involves producing many more Akus.
We have some food for you guys.
Next day at Sash, the 7 abandoned kittens found dumped at a local park are thriving on all the attention.
Hungry? Oh, someone's hungry. Oh, they're eating well for us, it seems. Very good.
Although they've had a rough start to life, that's all about to change. Bree from Paws and Claws Pet Rescue is waiting to take all 7 kittens home.
They'll come home with me and we'll feed them, and when they're of age we'll microchip, vaccinate, desex them and try and find them the best homes possible so that they can grow up knowing love and support and being a member of any family that they can be.
Kitties, going on home. Hi, I'm Claire. You must be Bree.
Hi.
Nice to meet you. Let's bring the kittens straight through.
Thank you.
These are the beautiful kittens.
Oh,
look at them.
No, they're very lucky to be found and brought in.
Hey, you got a big tummy. Have you got any plans for them?
So they'll come into care. We'll fatten them up a little bit, make them a bit stronger, and then after all the medical, we'll get them homes.
Get them a nice home.
Yeah.
I'm going to miss them. Miss their cuddles.
Oh, they've got beautiful little markings.
They do.
You're such a sweet little face. The 7 little kittens are doing so well. The vet nurses here have done such an amazing job. It won't take long at all to find them a perfect home.
Oh my God, are these the kittens?
Yes.
Oh, and are you going to take them?
I am.
Yeah.
While it's hard for staff to say goodbye, it's a huge relief for everyone that these 7 orphans now have the best possible chance at finding forever homes.
You're lucky last. There we go, sweetie. We'll pop them in.
Perfect.
Look at them all snuggled up.
All right, thank you again.
No worries.
No worries at all.
I'll keep you informed and I'll let you know how they go.
It's a pleasure having them. Have fun.
They go to a good home.
All right, bye.
Bye. I am so proud of the kittens. The kittens are doing absolutely amazing. Bree is an amazing carer. They're going to be well looked after.
Come on, we'll get you home and get you food.
If I just lens, you
And I just in, yeah. Ready?
At Sash, Teao's CT scan is about to begin.
Good boy.
Specialist surgeon Dr. Steve Fernside is hoping the scans will give a clear diagnosis of what's causing the 13-week-old pup's severe neck pain.
So little Teao's come in. He's a pretty sick little dog. He's got an extremely sore neck. So our next step is to do a CT scan on him. CT is like a 3-dimensional X-ray. So it allows us to look in a great deal more detail at the structures of his neck to try and define what the cause of his pain is.
For Steve, Teao's case is a diagnosis of exclusion.
So what we're really concerned about with Teao is that he suffered a serious injury to his neck. There are other possibilities. He's got some disease like meningitis or something like that that could be causing severe pain. And obviously, it's difficult to talk to a puppy and communicate with a puppy about what's happened, so we've got to investigate all the possible causes, and the most serious being that it could have caused a serious damage to the bones and structures of his neck.
Teao's owners, Paul and Anna, are anxiously waiting for answers.
I hope the vet's going to tell me that we can fix him, and quickly. I just want him to be fixable. Not knowing is horrible. It really is horrible.
There's something there.
It's large.
It doesn't take long for Steve to spot a problem.
He's got something happening. I don't know what it is. There's something happening at about See this on the left side of his cord here? It looks like there's something that's pushing into the spinal cord in the lower part of the neck. It's an area that's quite deep within the neck. So what we're going to do with Teao is give a little bit of dye into the system, which allows us to take another CT scan and allows us to get more detail of the area that we're particularly interested in. It's a little bit intriguing. When we get to this location here, we can see there's something starting to push on the left side of his spinal cord. And then once it's finished, the spinal cord sits back in its normal position. I think the possibilities are two. One, he could have suffered an injury to his neck and he's got a blood clot around the spinal cord. The second thing is, what's very unusual in a younger dog, he's actually ruptured a disc as a result of a playing or something like that with another dog, and the disc is herniated up next to the spinal cord. I have to be honest, I really haven't seen anything like this in a pup of this age.
Although the scans are showing evidence of trauma, Steve needs to rule out any other conditions that may be causing Teao's symptoms.
So what we're going to do now is just do a lumbar puncture on little Teao to get some spinal fluid. And that's going to go away to the laboratory to be analysed. And that helps us to check if he's got meningitis or something like that. So I have to say he's unusual to say the least, but we'll get to the bottom of it one way or another.
With no definitive answer, the wait continues for Teao's distraught owners, Paul and Anna.
You run from the worst case scenario. What do we do if we have to put him down? I can't do anything for him. And I hate that. I hate that limitation on myself.
It's going to be a little while yet. It's very hard for the owners because they want to know what's wrong and how to treat him and whether he's going to be able to live a normal life. And they're answers that are hard to give them at the moment.
That's the yard. That's all the mums and bubs. Okay.
At the Australian Reptile Park, General Manager Tim Faulkner has asked Chris for help with 3 new arrivals.
The problem is that they go wandering at night, and when there's 3 mums, they go back to the wrong mum. Head in the pouch, drink the milk, oh, this seems like my mum, and that's a problem for us.
We manage the genetics of all of our animals at the reptile park, and the last thing we want is for the Joeys to switch parents, and that could result in an inbreeding in their adult life. We need to know who the mum and dad are. We need to give them microchips so that they can be individually identified.
Come on, mate. Come on, little fella.
The whole idea of a microchip is to provide a permanent form of identification, one that just can't be removed or changed. It's essentially a number, but it's their number for life.
Don't you do it. Hey, look, they're about to swap mums.
Chris is getting a first-hand demonstration of the truant Joeys in action.
In the wild, koala mums wouldn't live this close together. And if their Joey went missing a few metres away, they would actively find it and get it back. Meg's doing what she thinks is natural.
Good mum. And Meg's off after her.
Who wants that baby? Hey.
The sex of the cheeky Joeys hasn't been determined, so that's Chris's first job, along with a full health check.
No, I don't think so. It's not going to happen. You're going to use that as your tree, are you? You know what that's connected to? My head. Come on.
I'm dying to know. We got a boy or a girl?
Well, girl, is it?
We got a pouch.
Yep.
Oh, that's great. Most years we have almost always boys.
Really?
Yeah, sometimes like 3 males to 1 female. Joey number 1, and it's a little girl, and that's great news. Girls can have more Joeys and the population gets bigger. You're welcome to name her. It just has to start with a J. That's how we keep the family lineage.
What about Jerry? You okay with that? You have Jerry Hall.
We can have Jerry.
Jerry is the first Joey to get her all-important microchip.
It's all right. The microchip goes underneath the skin, just between the shoulder blades. It's a very numb part of their body, so the needle doesn't really hurt when it goes in. But most importantly, it's usually an easy place to access with the scanner, so you can always read that number.
Stay there for a minute, mate. There you go. 1 down, 2 to go.
4, Anna. Come on through, I've met little Teao. He's a lovely little dog.
Thank you.
At Sash, Steve finally has some news for Teo's worried owners Paul and Anna.
So these are pictures of his neck. So see how the spinal cord gets distorted and pushed across to the right. So there's something sitting in the spinal canal outside his spinal cord pushing on it.
Oh, wow.
Okay. Look, he hasn't got any broken bones, so a lot of the nasty things that we will sort of look for is good. I think the worst case scenario for him is that he's got some sort of infection there, and they can be challenging to treat, to be honest. Won't sort of beat around the bush with you on that. I think the best case scenario and the most likely thing is that he's had a rough and tumble with his mate, he's injured his neck, and he's got some bruising there that will, over the period of time, will dissipate. All right?
Yeah.
But you want to have a quick visit with him? Yeah. Just see if he's having a sleep. He was pretty sleepy there before. So Teo's a really tough case because it's really hard to make a definitive answer as to what's caused his problem. But we have some fairly strong suspicions.
There we go. Oh, sweetie. That was a good boy. Hello. I'm glad he's awake. I'm glad he's happy. He looks better already. It's nice to see him so pleased and so happy.
In an ideal world, every animal that would walk in, we'd have an answer within 5 minutes and then be able to treat it within 10. Life's just not like that. Life's a lot more complicated.
Everyone is now desperately hoping the test results from the lumbar puncture will give them a definitive answer on what's wrong with little Teao.
Good boy.
All right, now Teao. Spinal fluid results.
Later that day, the results of little Teo's lumbar puncture are finally in.
The news is good. I mean, they reported them as normal, which is great. So they're a big relief that he doesn't have meningitis or some of the problem that puppies can get like that. So that's terrific. It's one thing to tick off the list, which is good.
Steve is now confident he knows the cause of Teo's excruciating pain.
My feeling is that he's probably had an injury to his neck, suffered during a play with his mates. It is pretty unusual to see an injury that's caused some bleeding around his spinal cord. But I guess puppies will be puppies. They'll play, they'll do things that are rough, they'll grab each other around the neck, they'll shake each other. So these things can certainly happen.
Steve hopes that medication and rest will help the German Shepherd pup to recover.
There is a possibility that we might need to operate on Teao. It's not something that we want to do because he's very young and the area that is affected is incredibly difficult to access. So we're certainly going to use that as a last resort, but it may be required.
One foot off, they're like fishing hooks, aren't they?
Yeah.
Yep, she'll go straight on your shirt.
At the Australian Reptile Park, Chris is helping microchip 3 babies so Tim can tell who's who in the koala enclosure.
Nails off. There you go.
But Joey number 2 is giving Chris a feisty reception.
Right hook. You learn something very quickly with these Joeys. They're packing cute looks and claws like razor blades. Yeah, it's a girl.
Another girl?
Yep.
Oh, that's great.
It's more good news for Tim's breeding program. And Chris names this girl Miley.
Not a bad name. You've been injured.
Miley. Wrecking ball.
Yep, sharp.
Hello. Yep.
With the microchip in place, it's time to round up Miley's mum.
Come on, Meg, down this way.
But Meg's not budging.
Can you make a little koala call?
I'll give anything a go, and mimicking the sound that a joey makes when it's calling out to its mum surely can't be that hard.
Come on, Meg. Come on, Meg.
What surprises me most is the fact that Tim is actually impressed with this. What surprises me even more is the fact that it works. Away we go.
Well, I've seen some things, but I got to pay that.
The koala call.
The koala call was brilliant.
It's a gift.
And there's one more Joey, and it's also a girl.
We got a name?
I think so.
What do you got?
One of those new age names.
What is it?
So it's not Teresa, it's Teresa. After the trees, but not spelt that way. With an apostrophe. R-E-E-S-A-H. Huh? Fancy.
Ah, good girl.
Here we go.
Overall, this was great. 3 little girls, healthy little girls, all now identified. My kind of day.
There we go. Come on. You can do it. I'm bleeding, scratched, red raw, which is a typical day here, so thank you.
Good on you. Thanks, mate. See you later.
Mate. Thank you.
Can't wait to hear his kids' names.
Hey there, little mate. You had your brekkie? Good boy. Come on. Hello. How are you doing? Oh, you're feeling a bit better, aren't you? Come on, sport. Come on, Teao. Good boy, that's the way. Oh, you're doing great, mate. Well done.
Next day at Sash, there's some exciting news for brave little Teao.
Teo's doing a lot better. He's more comfortable, the medication is starting to work, and we're happy that he's heading in the right direction. So the good news is that he can go home. Come on, Teao. There's a good boy.
It's been an incredibly difficult few days for owners Paul and Anna. But finally they've got the news they've been so desperate for.
This morning Steve has some answers for us, and yes, we can take baby home. So I'm really pleased with that. I'm really happy.
Come on, good boy. Good boy. Look who's here. Look who's here. There we are, team. I'm really pleased with him.
He's a good boy.
I'm really pleased with him. Actually, he was out there jumping around, you know, like there was nothing wrong with him. So I think he's doing a lot better. I'm very pleased with him, guys. So.
Baby. He's a good boy.
Yeah.
He's a good boy. Teao looks great. He can walk. He walked to me. He's throwing his paws at me. He's looking great. He looks fantastic.
Day by day, every day is getting better. His limp's gone away. He's getting out of the cage now without crying. His pain is much more controlled. He's happy. He's eating really well. So I think, guys, he's on the road to recovery. It's really important now that Teao takes it easy at home. He's missed by a whisker, suffering a really serious injury. He needs to take it easy for a period of time, so he needs to stay really nice and quiet. You be good. Don't play rough with your brothers and sisters. Don't give anyone too much trouble, and be good for your mum and dad.
He'll be good.
He'll be good. All right, guys. I'll leave you with him. It's been a pleasure.
Thank you.
Thanks, Paul. Have a safe trip. And we'll keep in touch.
Yeah, we'll do.
I'm very relieved to send Teao home. It's lovely to see him back with his pack, back with his owners, back with his mates, and making a good recovery.
Come on then.